It's time for the shop report with
Barbershop Jay.
What up, sports fans? Welcome to the Shop Report. I'm Barbershop Jay. I'll be your host for the day. Here's what's happening. Of course, we want to remind you the Shop Report is brought to you by Rocket Digital Media. It's the one-stop shop for all your digital marketing needs. You can look them up on Facebook at RDM Detroit, or you can slide on over to the website, rocketdigital.net. It's ROCKIT digital.net. And make sure when you're there, while you're there, you tell them the BSJ sent you. And for my folk out there in TV land, if you want to leave your questions or comments during today's program, by all means, please do so, and we will throw it up on the screen. And y'all know what's coming next. If you're one of them folks that wants to leave a question or comment that's indignant or ignorant in nature, won't be seen on this screen. Matter of fact, here's what you'll get.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
That being said, joining me on the program today, my captain across the way, Joey James, a.k.a. Double J. Tell the people what you say.
Yeah, it's been a wild week with the Malik Beasley news, of course, and as well as many moves across the NBA landscape. Also, we need to just kind of just touch base and have a little bit of a litmus test moving forward on what these new norms are as it pertains. And I know we discussed this in the Discord about, I feel bad for the kid. And I think he is going to be, really the prime example. It was rumored that he was $8 million in debt to the point where he had stiffed his dentist, who then by February was actually going and taking his checks.
Yeah, I saw something similar. It was not, and his barber. Like, how do you owe your barber $26,000 or something like that, or whatever the case may be? Well, a lot of these guys
sounds very interpreter-like, huh?
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, because even though we weren't set here to talk about baseball, I wanted to throw that in there too about Ortiz for the Guardians. So apparently, it's fudging.
Dude, if I showed you the two pitches, it is literally like just a bit outside. Like, in my best Bob Uecker, that's how bad these throws are.
Okay,
so they were undeniable, and it was only two pitches, not the same game. So what I don't understand is, yes, you can be a degenerate and bet on a pitch, on a specific pitch, on what the outcome will be, which is, again, ball, an in-play out, or basically extra bases, etc. So you can gamble on that. The thing is, you have a very, very small window to do that. And what I think the larger disconnect is that there's groups, there's pools of people that follow select individuals that have had a certain amount of success. Let's say I amassed that level of success, and so people are willing to contribute and listen to me. And I'm saying, okay, this next pitch is going to be a ball. So all of us throw it in all at the same time. That is naturally a irregular occurrence for that particular player, right? So to suggest that those pitches were so egregious.
But let me ask this question. And I ask this question to a lot of people who do parlays and fan duels and DraftKings, not necessarily plugging here. I'm just saying they're the two popular ones. Are you surprised? See, here's what I'm just saying. Ever since we've been on this platform, how many times have I not mentioned Arnold Rothstein, the guy associated with the 1919 the Black Sox scandal? What has happened is everything else in sports, quote unquote, as many people like to say, has evolved, right? Shoeless Joe Jackson and them guys, just for instance, or add a little bit more context and detail, or to be more specific, back in the 1900s, when they were playing baseball, the types of gloves they were using are not as advanced as they are now. So I'm saying in macro, if everything else surrounding sports has blossomed, you don't think the monies and the gambling that come along, it comes along with it. Follow the money. I look like
But see,
most.
that's what they're doing in a way,
Okay,
right? But this is why I don't understand. And what I want to point out is what I have a problem with. As somebody that has had mine stopped and manually reviewed, for unbeknownst to me as to the whys, as to I was randomly selected, I recognize that I'm at a disadvantage, not just because I'm not, we'll say, better than the human algorithm that I was coined at a company years and years ago, but specifically because I timed that there is a 30-second difference between my feed and their feed. And that gives them a strategic advantage, a competitive advantage, meaning
okay, but here's what I'm saying to you though.
But what I'm pointing out is
were there how many types of feeds were there in 1925?
I would have argued only the one, which is the eye test, right?
You get where this is why I keep saying what I keep saying about all of this. How many different types of feed were there in 1955?
You maybe had the
1975.
Okay. Yeah.
Now you get where I'm going. 1995. Now here we are in 2025. We got robots. AI is reprogramming the world. So you can't expect an advancement of sorts of certain things and not expect everything. It's like you open a black hole. Everything gets sucked in, including the gambling or whatever. So gambling has got to the point now where it's so much in abundance, so much of it that you don't know what's what from what no more.
But you can't make a rule like, okay, you and I put our heads together and 100 other people jumped on board, and because we won, they deem that they don't have to pay us now.
Okay, hold on. Who?
Garbage
Okay,
if we would have lost as a group, they wouldn't have had no problem with that.
Oh, okay, well, I mean, come on now. We already know it's a double standard and hypocrisy. That's
but you can't do that. You can't be a legitimate business acting illegitimately.
I mean, what I'm saying to you is who made gambling legal in the first place? Boy, stop right there. Don't even answer that. Who made gambling a thing in the first place? Yeah. So whoever's got the joystick, whoever's in the control center, they're in control. I used to tell Gully this all the time. I said, man, once, and I'm saying this as a journalist major, or I had an emphasis, let me say that in journalism. Once television in general became 24 hours programming and such, there's not enough program worthy material, so they have to use fillers. That's why you see a whole bunch of fodder and whatnot and all that other stuff that's going on. It is what has happened, and I wish I had sent you the thing to throw up on the screen. Remember that thing in the Discord I put in? Sports gambling has gotten out of control.
How long ago was that?
I
have it up.
The one I sent. What? Let me see. No, not that. Not what I'm seeing there. The one where oh shucks, man.
The AI Cloud Fair.
No, the various sports, like the football and the baseball and the soccer ball, they all sitting at a table. It's from New York Times. Yeah. And I put it in the Discord. We're gonna take a 20-second. I know we just got here. We're gonna take a 20-second. Hopefully, I can find this thing in the 20 seconds.
Yeah. If you do, just repost it in the admin.
That's what I'll do.
We're not trying to find it.
Yeah, we're gonna take a 20-second. We're gonna take a 20-second timeout. When we come back. Hopefully, if y'all bear with us, we can get this thing up. But I want everybody to see this. Oh, there it is right there. Yay, shout out. There you go. Okay, look at the date on here now. That's what, 2024. Okay, so this is last year, right?
Yeah.
This is the New York Times. Anybody and everybody that's watching, anybody and everybody that does parlays, Parcheesi, Monopoly, anything that, I mean, my gosh, I keep referencing the Tim Donaghy book, Personal Foul, right? If you all you all need to do is just read the chapter where him and Donaghy and Jordan and them when they were on the golf courses. Bruh, if you think NBA players, NFL players make money and all that, okay, that's fine. They do. They make nice shit. But what they were losing on the golf courses when they were gambling, I'm surprised folks didn't come up stanking. If I can say that, if I can't say that, forgive me. But if I can, I just did. I'm surprised. Bruh, follow the money. This thing what it has done, like NIL in a sense, and whatever, the portal, all that stuff, it's gotten out of control. It's so many hands in it now. Like who gets to say what and what not and what happened, bruh. So I'm not surprised that you're seeing more guys being susceptible to, and then you got human nature too. You know, I work at a place where, you know, they deal with credit cards and things of that nature, and people get caught all the time, but they make $35, $40 an hour. I'm too cognizant of what I got to lose to even be thinking about nothing like that. Why would you do it? I have no idea why people feel compelled to gamble on the stuff that they gamble on. You're taking chances. It's just the unnecessary chances that go along with it. And it's too wide open. I can't even read that, Double J, to be honest with you. Okay. It's too small. I'm just saying. Article itself. Yeah, it's an article. Go back to the New York Times and you'll see what you're seeing now. Bro, it's been here. It's just getting, it's ballooning is what, and what happens to a balloon at a certain point? It's going to pop. That's why I said how many years ago, and it was long before I said it, I actually did it. When I was younger, I was caught up in the sports. My grandfather raised me on sports. So, you know, you're a kid, you don't know no better. You just know, oh, I want to be a running back, or I want to be a wide receiver, all of that. You're caught up in it. But as you get older and your mind should develop, and the more I started reading, the more I realized they don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about none of that, bro. The bottom line is the dollar. As long as you're spending the dollar, because I'm going back and forth, and this might seem a little bit off base, but help me. Hold on now. I'm trying to bring it all correlation now. I'm going back and forth with and not in a bad way. Guy I'm cool with on Facebook. We was talking about the Browns. What's going on with the Browns currently? You know what I'm saying? And why they have this organizational ineptitude for what seems like a lifetime is beyond me. I said, bruh, let me tell you something. When Randy Lerner sold the Browns to Haslam, do you know how much the Browns were worth? $1 billion. Now, actually,
all that long ago,
bruh, they were worth $1 billion. And here's what I'm trying to figure out. Help me to understand. I ain't saying I was the best at math. I mean, I did enough to get through school or whatnot. But help me understand how you trying to how you trying to sell me on 3 + 5 is 27. How were the Browns worth $1 billion? But if you look at their record, this is still when it was 16 games. Look at their record since '99. They were abysmal. So if you got a bet, how is a product that terrible worth that much money? Because the owners, they do not see people as people. They see people as payment. You understand? So once I realized, look, I get the whole game day experience. Trust me, I done been to Municipal Stadium it was a family tradition watching the Browns and Clay Matthews intercept the ball on the goal line. Jim Kelly, Miami, but they play on all of that. They play on your affinity for that team. People got man caves, Dallas Cowboys out, or Philadelphia Eagles out. And I ain't knocking nobody's hustle. What I'm saying is understand what they're doing. Okay? They don't care nothing about you. They're going to charge you $12 for this bottle of water at the stadium. And then Cleveland is in this fight now. The Browns are moving to Brook Park. Brook Park, in reality, is right down the street. Okay? There's this big back and forth with lawyers and attorneys about the Modell law, whatever the case may be. Now, they went and changed the Modell law. I said, people, they're not moving to Baltimore again. They're moving to Brook Park. It's right down the road type of deal. But they charge you to sit in it. They charge you to eat in it. They charge you to park at it. And this is why I know owners, they can talk all the crap that they want to for the most part. The ones I'm familiar with, they don't care nothing about the fan. Because if they did, why do they need to ask the taxpayers to pay for something? Do you understand that any NFL owner, that an NFL team is not to him or her what it is to you as a fan? That's a toy for them. Did you ever see that movie called The Toy with Richard?
Yes, I did.
Jackie Gleason?
Love that movie.
Bruh, that's why I mention that every time we have this discussion of sorts. They do not care about you. If they did, bro, build it out of your own pocket. What do you need our money for? Dan Gilbert's the same, even though I give Dan Gilbert credit for at least wanting to revitalize. And then some girl from WNBA comes talking about some like, who wants to go to Cleveland or New York or Detroit or whatever the case may be. I mean,
no, that's a girl from Indiana.
Okay, I can, hey, listen, I know a lot of people in Cleveland and then got out of here, so she ain't lying. You know what I'm saying? But you from Indiana.
That goes back to Joakim Noah. Right?
Yeah, well, I mean, Brother Rich been saying it, but I'm just saying, at the end of the day, bro, all I'm saying to you all is, once I realized what ownership in terms of sports really was and how they really view the fan for real, bro, I started selling off paraphernalia. Now I still watch it for the essence of the sport.
But see, and now look what kind of can of worms you open with the statement.
I'm just saying,
because here's the thing, right? We got the USL, which is a tier 2 league, right? It is defined as beneath the vaunted and clearly based on the results that we just saw at the Club World Cup, the fantastic product that is known as Major League Soccer. They were able to boast that over the last 10 years, as an example, just Bro Rich's LAFC alone, a 10-year, $100 million stadium naming rights deal. Then you have basically multiple teams in a league that operates just like the NFL with a draft, right? That the rest of the world does not operate that way. I'm going to remind you. So clearly you're drafting players that are clearly not the best at their own age. So, but yet you're saying that the league is now making, somebody like Messi is bringing in 180 million in revenue and 50 million in operating income in just 2024. That is actually going to be more. For example, the Messi effect rippled across the rest of the MLS. The league has more than doubled its subscriber count on Apple TV and a 13% bump in sponsorship revenue to $665 million league-wide. You are telling me that our teams can make that kind of money in a half-empty stadium that is, again, to your point, not in many cases, some of these teams don't even have a stadium.
Explain that's what, bro.
But yet our USL product that is $2 million in debt here in Detroit, that had to ask people like me to buy into equity into it in order to now demolish what was an eyesore of an old Detroit hospital in order to pay for the stadium themselves. Will you ever see the Fords do that? This is why you have to put your foot down, because what we're watching is this BS within the capital, from the capitalist vantage point, from a globalist vantage point, and saying, ha, 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 look at us sitting in the skybox, eating filet mignon or Kobe beef.
Well, I call it filet mignon. Okay. And y'all could have told me I had ashy knuckles. Y'all dead wrong for that out there. I'm gonna give y'all a button, the folks out there watching.
But we're seeing this. And you're telling me the second division is able to pay for this out of pocket. You guys then go and have this big charade, otherwise known as the Club World Cup, where you get to finally display what we've already known for all along, which is the American product doesn't belong side by side with the European product, because you got housed and you got embarrassed and you played defense the whole bleeping game. And then even your best team with Messi in the retirement home from Barcelona that came to Miami, and they got housed by the Champions League winners. So it's embarrassing. You better protect your check, because it ain't going to last long. USL is a better product, and I hope they get the foreign investment that is otherwise just like we saw with Al Hilal, who just ousted my own Man City.
I was going to ask you, we talk about investment. Do they give fans the option to invest, like as far as like it being like stock options and such?
Yes. So
okay, well then that might be something. I would probably do something like, in other words, here's what I don't listen. Let's go back to simple economics 101. Help me to understand how it makes sense to put your money into a product And once you find that that product ain't what you paid for, you continue to put money into the product. How does that make sense? That's what I don't understand. And I told somebody, well, it's the Browns. Man, that's ridiculous. And listen, hold up. I grew up on the Browns and the Indians. My grandfather sat me down. I told you all this story 1,000 times. Forgive me for being regurgitational in this situational. He said to me, I'm going to show you the essence of sports. He showed me how to score a baseball game, on paper. You know how they did? I forget it's probably an old school thing, but first out, second out, whatever. I forget how it go all in. He showed me how to score the game on paper. He told me how to read a box score. He had me read a newspaper. So I dove deep. I was really into sports. And it's something about the competitiveness, especially in the 80s, growing up in the 80s and the 90s, that whole thing was like, man, if I beat him, all the little girls at the court gonna be smiling at me. It meant something. But I'm telling you now, bro, that's gone. Everything now is statistical or computational. And you get these printouts. Oh, okay, well, bet this game, bet that game, bet this game. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and now they're betting on things like, man, he the first guy since the last guy to tie his shoe in under 10 seconds. Bet that, and it's just gotten, it's getting, that's why I had you put that up. Sports gambling is a ticking time bomb. The only thing I don't know is who put the bomb. Danny Green, where you at? Who put the bomb under the stadium? And how much time did they put on it before it explodes is what I want to know. That's what I'm trying to figure out now. Because it's coming. It's coming. Bro, I'm telling you, and I used to keep jerseys. Bro, I kept fresh starter jackets. That in the 80s and 90s, well, 90s especially, the starter jackets was that was the fashion. The Raiders, Ice Cube and them when they came out, and the Yankees jackets and all of that with the hat. I had Royals and Twins, mind you, and Indians or whatever it is. I wasn't doing what everybody else is doing. But I'm just saying, once I realized, bro, I actually one year, added up the receipts for the stuff that happened. And I had an authentic Mitchell and Ness Jim Brown jersey. The ones with the sleeves with the pads on the elbow, bro. Okay, I'm not going to even tell you what the price point on that boy was. You understand? But when you're blinded by fandom, my team, you get caught up into that. Hey, I ain't knocking nobody's hustle. I added up the receipts, bro. For a year of the stuff I had bought that year, I wouldn't be sitting right here. I'd own my Liga. I'm just saying, I own something by now. I said, no way. And then to watch Modell move the team, I said, no, it's truly a business. It's truly, when you come into the store, so to speak, you are a dollar sign. And they'll sell you with, we're so glad to see you. Oh my gosh. Oh, how does the little kid want some candy? They make you feel so Cracker Barrel-ish. Oh, they welcome you in. And they like, hey, John, got one. It's people in the back room with headpieces, earpieces, and we got one. They say there's a sucker born every minute. Who said that? P.T. Barnum or somebody or whatever the case may be? Bruh, hey, right now, as much as I still love the sport, because I grew up on that, it meant more than just on the field to me. It helped save my life in a whole lot of situations. But as far as paying for PSL and the Browns do it every year. I saw the Browns get their mouth, like KRS-One you said about whack MCs. I seen the Browns get kicked in the mouth with cleats by the Steelers one year. Got mollywopped by the Steelers. And at the end of that game, do you know that the first commercial that they showed after that game was over was come get your PSL license for the 20 whatever next season? I said, you got to be kidding me. Man, stop it. NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, all that ownership, they not only see players as commodities, they see people too. I'm just saying, bro. Save your money.
Well, but to your
Save your
point,
money.
Even more so, loyalty one way is stupidity.
Yeah, okay, and that's another thing I keep hearing. Like, who's loyal to what anymore? Why would I'm not loyal to nothing that people always in the same breath say it's a business.
Well, you just said it. The Haslam family owns the Columbus Crew. I mean, they're one.
They own the Milwaukee Bucks too.
That's right. So their interests are naturally. That's pretty busy, wouldn't you say?
But meanwhile, I know a school teacher who loves her children, but yet and still she got to have fundraisers every week to get books and stuff for kids whose parents can't afford to even send them to school.
And people are anyway, that's another story.
I'm just saying though. I'm just saying this gambling thing It's bruh. I can only imagine how many more players. Bruh, what's my line? What's my line? There's no sporting event completely left up to chance. None, bruh. When you got people that you don't see at the controls, man, just go there and have a, and they say, well, it's entertainment. Well, if you find certain things in today's world, the sports world in particular, entertaining, that tells me a lot about you and what you see as entertaining. Okay? I'm just saying, save your money, y'all. Save your money. Hey, you want to bet on something? Bet on something. Say, bet on me. I'm just saying. Okay. All right. Bet that I'm going to make some sort of faux pas on words. I'm going to say something ridiculous. See, that means saying, bet that. You'll win off of that. You know what I mean? And then here's the thing I don't really get. I used to gamble, but I used to do what, just straight up stuff like head up. I bet the Browns win today. Boom, 100 on the Browns win. I ain't get all into the particulars and whatnot, right? But what are these things where they say you bet $5 to win $6?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not betting $5 to win $6. That's ridiculous. Listen, I'm not condoning it. Different situation, but the premise is still the same. I tell people all the time, man, you ain't got no business stealing nothing out here, especially if you're able-bodied. I said, but if you feel like you just got to, ain't no way in hell do it make, excuse my French fries, on Sunday and Monday, because we don't do that here, but ain't no way in the hockey sticks you're going to go and steal no $12 pair of draws and get 5 years for it. If you're going to steal something, go get a computer and hack into somebody and get 18 billion, a million. And Detroit fan, man, shout out. Yeah, discovering the NBA draft lottery isn't done live. What a tremendously bold slap in the face. How we doing, folks? Yeah, well, after that, we doing just fine. That's what I'm trying to say, man.
Yeah, that's par for the course.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like, man, come on, man. Yeah, shout out Detroit, man. Yeah, whenever he here, he gonna always. I wish D-Runk was still. I hope he all right. You know what I mean? D-Runk used to be with us. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. But him, Detroit fan, man, and D-Runk boy, when they get on here, you know what I'm saying? It's like things that make you go I'm just saying. I'm not listening. If you're a gambler, hey, do what you do. But
but again,
like a credit card, don't spend no more than you know that you couldn't afford out your own pocket type of deal.
It is very painstaking for me to see a league that is attempting to truly go about it the farm to table way, we'll say.
Okay.
Completely, like you said, it's a business way.
And they
to watch the other one. So, for example, Landon Donovan, former U.S. men's national team player, creates a team called the San Diego Loyal. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The following year, within a handful of months, it's announced an MLS franchise, an expansion franchise going to San Diego. It's like, bro, they tried to do that here, and we kind of rebelled against it. We were like, no, because this was Dan Gilbert, all the mega powers, we're coming together. The Fords, Dan Gilbert, even the Pistons owner Gores, they were all going to put money in to run an MLS team here.
How do sports teams survive in San Diego anyway? Have you ever lived not what the price of a gallon of milk in San Diego is? It's $24.2 million. You know what I'm saying? Like teams that don't do well, like if you have 4 to 5 losing seasons, that's what I mean. Where else is that money coming from? These teams that don't do well, how do they survive all those years and still pay a quarterback salary?
So it's interesting you say that, right? Because what I'm looking at is I talked about the valuations. And if I told you right now a team that's barely making the playoffs is one of the first highest revenue team in the respective league, which is LAFC, valued at over $1 billion. 1.2 billion is what the team is valued at. Okay. But
Detroit, man, hold that thought.
Yep.
Just got here. We talking Beasley or the CLE pitcher. Both stories get crazy as the deeper the report goes. Go ahead, Double J. Yeah, no, we just kind of encompassing it all, Detroit fan, man. Like it didn't all like a pimple. It's ready to pop, baby. I'm just saying. Go ahead. What are you saying?
Well, again, so I'm pointing out that if you had the pick a franchise that is only a handful of years old, that hasn't won anything significant, is valued the same as the Columbus Blue Jackets.
I couldn't answer that right now. I'd have to really give thought to, like, because you're asking me, like, how is one worth the same as the other type of deal? Bruh, that's the question of the day. I don't know. For the first time in media history, at least on this program, Barbershop Jay ain't got nothing to say. I'm talking to the 14th person here. I don't know.
To D-Runk's point, or I'm sorry, to Fan Man's point as well, we are talking about both, and that's how it spiraled into this.
Yeah.
The LAFC revenue is $150 million, but the operating income is $12 million, to answer your question, which is, how can a team be doing crappy like the Browns, but still be able to stick around? Well, that's because the business model suits them to remain profitable, regardless of how rainy and how many quarterbacks there are.
Okay, so it also lends itself to, just imagine how much money the guy who owns a team that can be abysmal for 8 or 9 years. Because let me tell you something right now. If you and I go out and open up a brick and mortar, and in the first year they don't do well, we can't afford to keep it open. I'm trying to say, you know what I'm saying? We can't afford to keep it open. Talk about small business. That's how you know the leagues and the NFLs and the NBAs and the MLBs and all of them, they big business. They big business. Mrs. Alva weighing in. Oh, Lord. Barbershop doesn't know what to say. Never thought I'd see that day. Oh, my gosh. Oh, boy. You know, it's a new addition to the whole situation. You know what I'm saying? Now everybody want to be Ralph Tresvant. I'm just saying. Oh, my gosh. You know what I'm saying? I need a man with sensitivity. That's what they're telling me. Absolutely not, see? But, I mean, again, once I started reading more about, like, that book, the League by John Eisenberg, how 5 rivals started the NFL. The NFL almost didn't make it. College football was king. But you can't tell me that. I'm reading that book, man, and it's, you know how you read something, and even though it's not on the page or it's not on the paper, it's like, but you can read between the lines. Man, show me an entity that was built on the up and up in this country. Just saying, it was some underhandedness going on, bro. You know what I'm saying? It was some backdoor dealings going down. Okay, like, look here, Johnny, you owe me. You into me for 20 G's. I got your marker. Hey, what we gonna do here? You can't tell me, man. As long as, and it's not, and let me make this clear. Capitalism is not by itself a bad thing, I don't think. If you got a good product and you sell your product at a decent price or whatever it is, and you can make a decent profit, and you come up out of punching somebody else's clock, hey, by all means, I want everybody to get their Colonel Sanders moment. You understand? They Hershey chocolate bar guy moment. But it's greedy capitalism, bro. If it costs you $2.99 to make a product, but you're selling it for $25,099, that's ridiculous. And that's my word. Yeah, it's not in the Urban Dictionary. It's not in the Oxford. It's not in the Webster's. That's in the J Dictionary, baby. You know what I'm saying? Miss Alva, write that down. How about that? Put that on a t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? It just, gambling is, I stay away from it. It's, nowadays, especially at my age, I sit down with my sons and we watch it and we talk smack. Sometimes they friends will come over. We all be eating stuff, you know, and we just talk smack about as the game is going on. And when it go off, man, I get up and go feed my cat. You get what I'm trying to tell you? Whereas once upon a time, man, when the Browns would lose, man, you couldn't talk to me for days. We was scrapping. You know what I'm saying? If I was into it. Not no more. Not no more. I deal with all of that with a long handle spoon, bro. They can't get my money. I tell you what, I tell you who can. Any one of them viewers out there that's got a solid idea about something that they can do for themselves, landscaping, I don't care what it is, bookshelf making, I'll invest in that. Because I know that's some product. But to give Michael Jordan even, or I'm not giving them another dime, bro. I'm not doing it. They got more than enough money. Man, ain't nowhere in the world you gonna, and I'm not knocking it. I'm me.
Well, now I'm going to ask you this because
Never.
it's to continue on this finance train. Apparently, ESPN is rumored to be switching to a paid subscription format that would be roughly about $30 a month. Do you believe?
Okay, now, okay. Listen, I asked that. When we come back, we're gonna finish that, and then we're gonna get into some of this. Whoa, excuse me, y'all. Some of this NBA talk and what Ben Hamburger Schloxenberger had to say about Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. Boy, Aaron Rodgers is getting his farewell tour and don't deserve it, in my opinion. Sharon Rodgers. That's really what I was calling. I'm just saying. Don't break the crack. Step on the back. Something like that. What was I saying, man? Oh, man, I lost the thought. Help me out here. Creative control. You the creative control. Help me out here. What was I saying?
About the launching of the streaming service.
Thank you very much. I'm glad your memory is better than mine. Thank you very much. Remember I asked you before, like, I don't want all of these. To be honest with you, I just want to see the sports. I don't care about none of these shows, Hip Hop Lives, how many wives, who got to throw how many knives, drag racing and all that other stuff they got going. I don't care about none of that stuff, bro. Give me a sports channel that I can pay along with having the internet and run me about what YouTube TV used to be. When I first got YouTube TV, bro, it was $25 per whatever month or whatever they doing. I was cool with it. Got to see what I want to see. I was good. ESPN do something like that. I'll sign up for that. I'll sign up for that. Make my cable bill or whatever you want to call it in a combination where I can come in. Because sometimes I'm at work or whatever it is, and I might want to catch some highlights. Because a lot of times I catch a highlight, I say like, ooh, a thought might be born. Like, ooh, I'm gonna talk about that on the show. Or, oh, I didn't know that was what. Okay, let me see what they did. So a lot of times I'll just go through I'll see the ticker or something, and it'll trigger something that we discuss here. I don't get my information from there. I'm just saying it'll trigger something. But I don't want to have to go through Hulu and Disney Plus and Tubi and Pluto just to see who did what and I'm saying, like, who's the champion in Uno? I don't need to go through all of that, bro. Just give me, if ESPN do one streaming thing and it's $30, I'll sign up for that. And then I'm canceling all the rest of them. Guaranteed. Believe that. And I don't need no Rocket app for that. I'm just saying.
I just don't see how it survives. I think this is the beginning of the end once again.
For what?
For them. To
ESPN? Oh, they drowning, so to speak, I guess. I don't know. Maybe. Are they?
So again, it's a direct-to-consumer streaming service.
But why wouldn't that work, though?
What do you mean?
A direct-to-consumer streaming service. Why didn't it? We streaming everything else now.
Correct, but what would make it, again, there's only so many games, right? To your point, are you willing to pay the $30 in order to see? Because again, we're talking about they're essentially going to be removed off cable.
Listen, if they include the Ocho, I'll pay $30 for it. Okay, let me ask you this question. Are you paying $30 for anything that's really not worth the $30 that you're paying for?
I can't see myself doing it.
Bro, when you go to In-N-Out Burger, that's $30 right there. My gosh, and that's terrible. I'm just saying, okay? A pizza with one topping on it is $31.99. Okay? I don't care how many coupons they give you and discounts, companies, whatever. Bro, you're paying $30 just about it. I mean, inflation is everywhere, so you can't. I mean, you go to the grocery store again. A pack of wings at your local grocery store is how much? Exactly, $14 million. Okay, so, I mean, all they doing is they getting in where everybody else, they just trying to cash in where everybody else didn't cash in, bro. You're paying for it, you're going to pay for it. How else would you get your sports fix?
Yeah, so are they removing these channels from cable?
I don't know. Well, I know the Bally Sportsnet is taking a hit. BN is taking a hit too. The sports network, they taking a hit.
That's why I think it's a risky move.
Yeah,
it
but
sounds like the
ESPN is
unlimited
still-
plan, it says, will give access to all of ESPN's linear networks. So ESPN2, SEC Network, ACC.
Oh, you get
Network.
all of that?
Yeah, and Deportes for the soccer folks.
I mean, I can't speak Spanish, but I'll try.
You just got to. It's the same game.
Yeah,
Everybody knows that is. So.
Yeah, yeah, it's the same game, but it ain't the same host.
Right, you got that right.
And, I saw a lady on there the other day. I ain't Charema. Ay. Yeah, who needs Linda Cohen? I'm just saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a lot of my, folks going bonkers over Molly Karam. I watched a Spanish show the other day. I don't care what they were saying. I know what I was seeing. I'm just saying. Woo, do not go in there. I'm just saying, bro. You know what I mean? But anywho, we got another comment. Let's get to these comments right here and then get to some of this NBA talk, trade wars and such. Detroit Fan Man says, I simply don't believe this. If ESPN honestly tries to paywall just college football games behind a $30 paywall, this nation may revolt. Okay. So I can't read that. Annual subscription is $99. Monthly subscription is $39. I mean, basically they just doing what everybody else is doing. Shucks, StreamYard and Streamlabs, they do the same thing. You pay for it for the year, you get this price and whatnot. But is what he's saying here, wait a minute. So, whoa. He seemed like he had a little bit more context. Let me throw that up there again. Make sure. If ESPN honestly tries to paywall just college football games. So that's what they're doing? Do you think that's what they're doing?
Yeah, to my understanding, I'm interpreting this as if you want to see anything that would otherwise be on an ESPN network. And if you recall, like for somebody like myself, I had ESPN, the app, open on my smart TV earlier because I was watching a game in the USL. Again, I say I watch that more than MLS. That was only available there, that we have the bundle for. So my regular cable package doesn't have that. It was exclusive to the app. So if they're going to allow you to have everything under one roof, which is going to include what would be that Saturday night Ohio State at Oregon, it just gets murky to me because they're part of the ABC.
Yeah, that seems like a whole lot for $29.99 a month. That sounds like that's okay. So then, because maybe I'm missing something. If they're going to
give it to you that way,
that's what I'm trying to say. Well, from that little, I couldn't make out what you had there, but a little bit of it looks to me like they were offering a monthly subscription and an annual, right?
Correct.
Okay, what was the monthly again? You don't have to pull it up, but it's like, what was it? $30 you said, right?
Yep. It's $6 more with ads to give you Disney Plus and Hulu.
Oh, well, of course. Of course they want to combine Disney. Yay. But here's the thing, though. Let's say you sign up for that. Then you have your YouTube TVs, excuse me, your Hulus and your Slings. They go out the window, don't they? Who's paying for YouTube TV if ESPN is offering you straight direct? They're giving you a direct shot in the arm.
Well, that's just it. Again, what do I need? So look, I pay too much for cable, right?
Okay.
Part of my deal with them that elevated said package is the need for my access to SEC Network, ACC Network, Big Ten, and basically any sports available for obvious reasons.
Okay.
So to your point, to suggest that the 47,000 events that they're claiming, I believe that was the number that they used.
If they're going to give me access to everything that I would see if I had cable, ESPN is, in other words, they're not giving me Barnaby Jones in the package. You could eat like cable would. I don't want to see all them other shows. But if it's you giving me sports, if you're giving me college football, whatever NFL games you got, believe it or not, I like professional bull riding, to tell you the truth. You know what I'm trying to say? That type of deal. If you're giving me that or a World Chase Tag, you know what I mean? If you're giving me a variety for $30 a month, if I get all of that, like the big stuff that I would have to pay extra to see, like the NBA, what they got, the league pass. The league pass is $25 billion. Like for what? Nobody sits through NBA games anymore. And if you do, you're lying like a rug right now. I'm just saying. Okay. If you're giving me all of that for $30 a month, matter of fact, if I know you're giving me that for $30 a month, I'm gonna go ahead and get the annual for $299, whatever that is. You highlighting it. I still can't see it, Double J. On my end, it's
the unlimited plan will give fans access to all of ESPN's linear networks. Again,
when they say linear,
that means cable TV, the old way.
Okay, okay, that's okay, like terrestrial radio type of deal, right? The old, okay. So then you gonna give me, may he rest, but you gonna give me Stuart Scott, Chris Berman, Tom Jackson back, so to speak. You giving me old school back? Now you're getting to ESPN on ABC. So if the event, I was asking about this earlier, if that Saturday night football game, which is ESPN on ABC, and it's Notre Dame and Ohio State, you're going to be able to watch it still. And I ESPN Plus, which is what I was concerned about for my USL soccer. ESPN3, SEC Network Plus, and then that's going to cover 47,000 live events each year, on-demand replays, obviously the studio shows, original programming. You got to remember, CNN Plus just flopped. Like they shut that thing down within a week, and don't nobody watch CNN. Right. I'm trying to say. So when now you're adding pluses, and more like by subtraction, get out of here. There ain't no traction. But here's what I'm saying to you. It's got to be something is. I'm going to have to go back and read all of that because something that sounds too good to be true. Cable TV is charging you $25 million. I'm going to be honest with you. I think I'm saving money by doing this. That's what I'm doing what? You mean the way that what they're offering? Correct. Versus what you're doing now? Versus what I'm doing today, which that's what I'm trying to say. I had to add extra stuff in order to get that same access. Okay, well, wait. I don't know if this is. I'm just throwing this out there because by you saying it just triggered another thought. There's a lot going on at ESPN that when it comes to their to-do list of stuff to show the public, it's maybe at the bottom. We see little snippets and pieces about how many layoffs they're doing, who's not getting paid, and some of the names that we used to seeing around the horn is gone now. So what they may be doing is they're going back to the basics. They're making it where, because I don't recall. Well, it was once upon a time the cable package was affordable. When Stuart Scott got on the mic, Keith Olbermann and them got on the mic, this cable was affordable. Maybe they say, you know what? We don't have to overprice what we do to still make a decent enough profit. I don't know. But other than that, that's the only thing I could come up with right here in the moment that maybe, because that sounds too good to be true. Maybe somebody over there, somebody somewhere had a heart and said, you know what? No. You can't keep doing it. The American people are being, we got folks, certain folks, they want to slash Medicare. Like, you mean to tell me in this country's monetary whatever, the first thing the agenda or whatever, or to-do list, the first thing you want to do is cut the people who served in this, veterans and people, the elderly, you want to cut their money? Anyway, I'm just saying, maybe somebody over there somewhere saying, okay, the American people, they've been cut on enough. Enough cuts. Let's cut them some slack. That's the only way I could fit this into this box right now. Because other than that, either this goes over as a resounding hit, this will be the final nail in the coffin to the ESPN, which will be a 30 for 30 in itself. Okay, well then, if it's the final nail, who's there to take ESPN's place? Fox Sports? I don't think so. Well, again, it's all about how content's consumed today. I think a lot of the broader issue is that, and we fall into this as well, right? Is that there's a lot of folks that are willing to get the information that they're looking for, regardless of whom it's coming from today. Detroit fan, man. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I have, and I appreciate that. But
look at that. Yeah, keep his head on straight.
yeah, no. But Detroit. But listen. One of my other lines. It's not who's saying. It's whether or not what's being said makes sense. And the way this reads, Double J, you tell me, how does it make sense?
Again, I'm very torn on this. Right, I like the innovation. Look, to your point, you brought up something fantastic, which was the need that ESPN filled when it first started. But this is very much a Hail Mary throw to suggest that they're attempting to serve that again, and they recognize the linear programming and networks. That way is the old way. So even though that was how they got their start, they recognize they need to replicate that across the digital formats and be D2C, which is something they've been aggressively talking about on paper for probably the better part of a year and a half or two.
Yeah.
And so if you do that and you do that effectively, my concern actually has a lot more to do with the price tag, because $30 sounds like a lot. And if people are already suggesting, like myself included, hey, I'm already paying for this, and I don't find myself cord cutting, which I am. I'm one box away from cord cutting. I'm pretty much done.
But why does $30 sound like a lot if they're giving you for $30 everything that you're paying $100 for separately? If that's what it sounds like,
right? If you're taking advantage of it. For somebody like me, I know I would or will be, and I think I actually would be saving. I have to see if the maths.
That's what I'm saying. It sounds like it does, but again, I would have to read it too. I don't know. Right? They bleeding. This is desperate. Yeah, I
completely agree. I don't necessarily. I think this is a move,
but it could give them a resurgence too, though.
It absolutely could.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because and why I say that is because I'm gonna give you a sports parable here. I suppose is what you might want to call it or not. When at the time, the Washington Commanders, that's not what they were called when Joe Gibbs was on the sideline. When they won Super Bowls with Mark Rippon and Doug Williams and such, and Riggins and Theismann, excuse me, there was NFL Films does past Super Bowl team. They did the one on the Washington, okay, and he said every man in this room, for the most part, those teams didn't want you. Correct. We did. You get what I'm trying to say? So I don't know, man. You gotta, and sometimes history repeats itself, right?
It really feels that way. I mean, look, I'll point out something that sounds kind of funny. Uber is now offering designated pickup locations.
Yeah, Uber in trouble. Uber's in trouble.
Repeatable. Does that sound familiar?
But Uber's in trouble. Uber's in trouble because what riders are doing now, they're asking the drivers, how much does Uber pay you for this trip? Oh, 13 cents? I'll give you that double. Oh, okay.
But look at what is that again? That's taxis.
Or jitneys. You know what a jitney is? Do you know what a jitney is? Look it up. Dang, am I showing my age?
A little bit.
Man, give me some malto milk, Grandma.
Again, what we're pointing out here is, in Uber's case specifically, that was always designed with the end goal being autonomous, fully autonomous.
Right.
And until they get there, you won't see profitability from them.
Yeah, well, we're going to take another break right quick. When we get back, we're going to get to some of the sports that we ain't even talked about none of what's going on in the NBA. My gosh. Stay with us. Don't touch it. Don't you touch it.
It's Kate Cunningham, and you watching the Shop Report. I'm Harvey Diallo, and you watching the Shop Report.
My name's Chris Murray, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Oh, you're Jay Knight, you're watching the Shop Report.
Max McKee, you're dropping in on the Shop Report.
Barbershop Jay, Quentin Hines, Super Bowl champion. I'm ready. Let's do it. I'm on.
Hi, I'm Martin Smith. We're at Mercury Stadium, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Hey, I'm Billy Butler, and thank you for watching the Shop Report. Hey guys, I'm Les Norman, former Kansas City Royal, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Commander Brown, Detroit Rivers Mountain Training, and I'm watching the Shop Report.
Hey, this is Doug Flynn of the New York Mets. Well, a few other teams, of course, too. And you're watching the Shop Report.
I'm Matt Ramos, and you're watching the Shop Report. How you doing? I'm Rajay Davis, and you're watching the Shop Report.
How you doing? This is Nelson Figueroa, former Major League pitcher with a lot of teams. You're about to listen to the Shop Report. Hey, this is Howard Johnson. You're watching the Shop Report.
Hi, I'm Heath Bell from the New York Mets, and you're listening to the Shop Report podcast. Yeah!
Hey, I'm Josh Tolley, former catcher of the New York Mets, and you're watching the Shop Report.
This is Edgardo Alfonso for the Mets, and you're listening to Shop Report.
Hey, this is Doc Gooden, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Hello, this is Mike Hampton, and you're watching Shop Report.
Hey, this is Herman Harvey, former NFL offensive lineman with the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens, and you're listening to the Shop Report.
All right, we are back. Well, as my co-host, esteemed it is, and such, early at the beginning of the P program today, mentioned there's been a lot going on in the NBA here, excuse me, in terms of the trades and who went where and what and why. Hey, I'm telling y'all right now, man, I think I'm going to get this reversible jersey thing going on because Kevin Durant in particular, he done been on 417 teams and he been in the league for only 10, how many years? That years. This is ridiculous getting what is going on. But we're going to talk about some of that. And then, of course, again, we're going to talk about Ben Hamburger and what he had to say about Sharon Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes and all that good stuff. But what I want to say first about our NBA trade wars and moves and free agency and such is Greg Popovich. Now, help me. I just came across this. The NBA dropped 77 games from Pop's career totals. Why would they do that, Double J? Excuse me. Are you there? Hello? Creative control. Oh my gosh. This is what I'm telling you. I deal with this every week. You know what I'm trying to say? This guy shows up, then he shows out. Oh, there he is. Okay. Yeah. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, they're saying from last season.
But why? I don't understand why they would do that.
Because of his extended absence from his stroke.
So wait a minute, am I not reading this right? So when I say drop 77 games from Pop's career totals, okay, my bad. Okay, so I get it. Whatever
you thought you were talking about specific to wins.
Yeah, that's what I'm like, man. I'm like, what the heck? Okay,
no,
okay.
They've taken the 32-45 record and given it, and I would argue, respectively to Mitch Johnson, who is now at the helm.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I had it misconstrued. Then, further down the line, DeAndre Ayton signs with the Lakers. That was the Lakers' big move.
Was that true? What the?
All I know is
Devin Booker said.
I think so. I don't know. Maybe somebody out there, Detroit fan, man, he seems to have the ins and outs. You know what I'm saying? I think he's a general manager for the Pistons, and he's coming on here, but he's giving himself like a pseudonym. If that's the case, shout out for it. You know what I'm saying? We'll take it. I don't know. AI is just everywhere, so I don't know who's who, what no more. But I will say this: if that is true, how is Ayton complimentary to what are they doing, bro? Are they like ESPN? Are they desperate too?
I would say yes to both. Now you're hearing that both LeBron and Reeves do not like playing with Luka.
See, let me get to this comic. Detroit fan man says, if you know, shout out. Okay, then. All right, we ain't gonna say no more about it. You know what I'm saying? Wink, wink type of deal. Okay. Where did I saw that, but I didn't see the source. So where'd you see it at, Double J?
I will promptly pull it here. Let's see.
And where's that coming from? Like, again, this is probably my last year doing this. I've been doing this for about 20 years. Before there was video and all that, we was doing audio and so on and so forth. Before audio, I was using Blog Talk Radio. That's how I'm gonna be doing this. But it's becoming so discombobulatory. Sports is like you don't know what's from what anymore. And it's becoming more and more of a challenge to make sense of what don't make sense.
Oh, there is a source.
Well, okay, well, who's the source?
John Gambadoro.
Oh, you talking about the guy that played in Hang 'em High, Hang 'em Low. Oh, my God. Clint Eastwood, okay?
All right, so what we have here,
John Wayne, huh? He came back, huh?
LeBron does not like playing with Luka. Reeves does not like playing with Luka. Reeves does not like getting the ball with 2 seconds left in the shot clock.
But he was doing that. He was getting the ball with 2 seconds left in the shot clock before Luka got there. So I'm just trying to say, hey, and listen, okay, and
the Lakers are going to turn their attention to build around Luka, not LeBron.
Listen, what the Lakers once were as a storied franchise, they are a circus right now. They look bad, bruh.
But can I ask you something? I found something out here that it actually makes a lot of sense.
Oh,
if you think about it, but it really doesn't make a lot of sense. So the genius that was Dr. Buss and Wild Man, for those that are aware, and if not, Google it. He went and rolled the dice on Magic Johnson, right? Which, that passed the eye test. He had to borrow money from his mom in order to finance the team and to be able to pay for him. So he was willing to take the risk, but that was his judgment. He went against the coaching staff with some of the moves that would follow later in that quote unquote dynasty run, if you will, with the Lake Show. And so what I learned recently is that the Lakers still do not have a true scouting department.
Did they have one? Did they have one when Buss was there?
No.
Did they need one when Jerry Buss was there?
You tell me. I thought he did okay.
No, they didn't. Here's what's happening. Same thing as in the case with the Randy Lerner deal with the Browns. Randy Lerner said when he sold the team to Haslam, he said, the only reason I kept the Browns for as long as I did is because I made a promise to my father. He said, I didn't want them because he had a soccer team, Aston Villa. He couldn't wait to get rid of the Browns. Here's what I see with the Lakers in terms of the front office and the brain trust now versus when Buss. This is the only point I'm making, right? In terms of the moves being made by who's sitting at the top. Bruh, when you have children that live with you and are able enough, to make their own little ways, they can work some little job or whatever. As long as you're paying for everything, you're gonna always have to tell them, turn the lights off, turn the lights off, turn the lights off, turn the lights off, because it ain't coming out of their pocket. Okay, you see where I'm going with this here? If I give you a car, you'll appreciate it to a certain extent because of how you were raised. But the car that you had to buy with your own money after working at McDonald's, cleaning the McDonald's bathroom for 2 years, you're going to have a different appreciation for it. Jerry Buss has turned the franchise over to two, with all due respect, dimwit idiots. They were the beneficiaries of his money. You understand what I'm trying to say? Show me prior to now where Jeannie or Rob, Plinko, the game that played on Price is Right. That's what that sound like to me. Show me where they had any previous managerial experience, even at Starbucks even. Go look at Buss's track record before he bought the Lakers. You get what I'm trying to say? He had already been through the muck. You understand? Now I get it. We all want the best life for our offsprings and so on and so forth. But no, like I know a guy, I worked with a guy whose father played with the Cavs, and he told him, no, this is my money. You got to go get your own. You got to learn how to get your own type of deal. And nobody in the Lakers front office got that. That's why everything looks, and the moves that they making look discombobulatory and disarrayment. Okay, I'm making up words as we go on here now. And Buss made moves that made sense. From a dollar standpoint, from an acquisitional standpoint, from top to bottom, whatever move, even when he went and got Shaq, every movie, Kobe, every movie that they went and made, he had people around him, and it made sense from the beginning to the end. What have they done that makes sense, the Lakers? I'm just saying, since Rob Pelinka and Jenny Buss been at the top, what have they done to make sense?
So do you think it was the right move to sell the team?
Absolutely. To a guy who's like, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if it was AI, but his comments, I don't know his name, but his comments like, we getting rid of the hangers on and the party pooperers and the partiers and all of that. We getting rid, because the Lakers, even though they were Showtime, what they were built on was farm to table philosophy. You get what I'm going? Magic was trickery, but that wasn't what it was based on. You still had to. Kareem's like, hey man, we put in work over here. So like Floyd Mayweather, the Lakers at one time in the 80s and 90s, they reminded me of Floyd Mayweather in this sense. They were flashy, they were brash and all of that kind of boom, 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 boom. But they could do that because they still rolled their sleeves up. You know what I'm saying? Nobody gonna outwork Floyd, bro. You could watch any of his training sessions. You'll see, okay, it's a reason why he can say what he say. Now, do I agree with it? That's separate from. But he can say what he say because he put the work in. He has a respect for his craft that the pageantry has not blinded him to that. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? Detroit fan, I'm going to need that trickery one more time. Trickery. Detroit fan, man.
Coming to a real soon.
Hey, did I? No, I can't. That's Magic's line. You seen the podcast he was on. He's like, man, and when I came down, it was he.
No, I seen it. You know, the he might have been the sound of his treadmill on the yacht that I saw him on.
Oh, my, that's not a yacht, bro. That's not a yacht. That's a ship. Come on now. You can call it. Okay, you might can call it a yacht. Man, the thing is 500. It's looked like a doggone aircraft carrier. Man, come on, man.
It was a Allegiant Stadium at first.
Yeah, right, exactly. And when I saw it too, when they fanned out, you couldn't see him no more. You know, I was like, my gosh, you know what I'm talking about? A yacht. Yeah, okay. Yeah, by definition, maybe, but not in actuality. What I'm saying to you though, bro, the Lakers are dysfunctional. And at what point, I'm telling people right now, I'm 55 years old, bro. I've been watching sports and involved in sports since I was 5. That don't mean I understood it at 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 even. You know what I mean? But I did at 23, 24, and 25. So I had a good basis. As long as I've been watching the Lakers and Magic and Bird in that championship game in 79, yeah, I watched it, you know, and that's really what set the tone, you know, for that rivalry, Celtics-Lakers type of deal when they both, okay, we get all of that. But I look at the Lakers now, and I can't point my finger on anything solid. You could do that in the 80s and 90s. You understand? There was still that element of, even though Magic and when there was Showtime, they put on a show. When Magic missed that shot in 84, he said, I felt some type of way about that. You know what I mean? It wasn't just basketball. You get what I'm trying to say? And he came back in 85 and he told Kareem, I know the right play was to give it to you. He said, but you don't understand. I got he hit the baby hook on him. You know what I'm trying to say? It was substance is what I'm driving at here. Where's the substance at with this current version of the Lakers? Where?
Well, and change may be a good thing, but
that's what this new guy's bringing back.
Because
that's what it sounds like.
Have the two, you brought up the Lakers, right? But also the Celtics now are going on essentially a full calendar year of their ownership change. And you've seen more moves than I'm accustomed to. Right, you're seeing them get fiscally in shape, we'll say.
But change is imminent, though. You know, change has to happen.
Well, sure, but is it change for the better? It's always to be determined, right?
Right.
It's always in hindsight. And so, what I'm saying is, we just came off of finals that had 2 teams in Middle America in flyover states.
Yeah, in Indiana.
In OKC.
That's why that little girl from Indiana, she keep her mouth shut, because don't be around here capping and talking crap napping. You understand? Like Indiana got skyscrapers, New York style. Get out of here with that. Have a seat. Go ahead, continue. My gosh. You can't tell me my diaper is full of it. And when I look over yours dragging the ground. I'm just saying, keep going. It's ridiculous.
I'm staying out of this one.
Okay.
For obvious reasons, right? I'd like to be able to return back. Actually, I'll be out there next week. And so what I'm saying is we see ESPN going digital, we're now acknowledging, Shaq himself has said this, echoing my point, that there are no such thing as big and small markets anymore. And now
and why
you
is
see
that though? Why is that? The internet has
correct.
leveled the playing field, bro.
Absolutely.
Continue.
So when you see the legendary ownership group that held onto the Boston Celtics for as long as they have, let go of it when it was rumored that that was essentially the ceiling that it was going to reach for the foreseeable future, which is that sale price that they were able to achieve.
Okay.
That they didn't have a choice. If you were going to sell it, that was the day to do it. And now you see them selling some of their talent, right? Drew Holiday is furious that he's in Portland.
Yeah, man.
Porzingis getting traded on draft. I didn't see.
I'm not. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at that. Guys that size have, unfortunately. But who was the player? And we talked about the shoes and why players are getting hurt. But Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce was talking about it too. Bro, I said this before too. Players do not work on their body. Remember I talked about dynamic stretching versus static stretching? I saw it. I played with guys who are in the league, not in the league currently, but who played in the league years in the 80s and 90s. They used to come up to the local park. They put in more work on their bodies than they did in practices and so on and so forth in the off season. That's how they were prepared. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. These guys ain't working on their bodies. But bruh, let me just throw this out here. Do the Celtics seem to be a team that reload? Because that's, for me, it's always been one or two. Either your team that reload or your team in constant rebuild. Do they look like they reloaded?
Suggest that historically they reloaded. But let's not pretend like this wasn't the same group that had those Al Jefferson years either.
Whoa, because that's what I was kind of going with this. But Kristaps, I understand why. Guys who are that size or whatever it is that don't really, they are more susceptible to injury because he stayed hurt. Did Al Jefferson stay? Was he oft injured as is, or was Kristaps?
I would say comparable.
I don't know.
He didn't have the help around. I thought he was more of a mainstay than him. I would have to see it.
You talking about Al Jefferson? Yeah, he was more of a mainstay than was Kristaps.
Porzingis.
I don't. Porzingis is not. I mean, I get the measurables because people are really looking at the measurables, but I'm looking at whether or not he was really complimentary. If you're not there, you're not complimentary to what they're trying to do there. You get what I'm trying to say? So that to me, the Drew Holiday is the one move that they made that I find there's a head scratcher to me. Because even with Tatum and Jalen and all that other stuff you had, he is the one common denominator in the Milwaukee and the Celtics winning championships. How do you get rid of that guy? And I'm not saying he no Deion Sanders, but in the same light of sorts, Deion, when he went to the Cowboys, they won a Super Bowl. When he went to the 49ers, they won, him and Charles Haley, by the way, they won a Super Bowl. You get what I'm trying to say? So you could say, like, what's the one common denominator in that team winning that year? And it was Drew Holiday. So how do you get rid of that piece? And defensively, he and White on the perimeter, because like, where's your defense coming from now? I don't understand that move. The Kristaps move I do understand, but the Drew Holiday move I don't. And then they sent him to Portland. He had a reason to be mad, bro. For the same reason.
Yeah, I got the data in front of me. In short, Al Jefferson, despite being out of Boston after the third year, 71 games, 59, 69 games. And then for Minnesota, it was 82, 50, 76, 82. And then at that point, he was with Utah. But he pretty much averaged right around 60 games. So he was pretty darn good. Porzingis with the Knicks, 72, 66, 48, and then missed an entire year. Then was at Dallas, 57, 43, 51, 65, 57, 42. So that's not even close.
Al was there. He was there. He showed up for work
considerably
a lot more.
And more 14 seasons. I want to remind everybody of that too, because he was a dog when he first was in Boston. I argue alone. That was after the big three and such.
Yeah. But now, even though I don't do player comparisons, You know what I'm saying? But I do like matchup versus matchup type of deal. Al versus Zebo.
We could wait a minute.
Zebo, I'm taking Zebo. I'm just saying that's for another show. That's for another show. I'm just saying Zebo. But a guy, and the reason why I mentioned Zebo, him and guys like Antonio Gates, we talking about guys who are heavier, but who had a playing style that allowed them to be there far more often than they weren't. Why? Because these guys, and I ain't saying Zebo was a guy who really took care of his body and so on and so forth, but his fundamentals were in place more so than, but you didn't see Zebo out here doing stuff that he ain't had no business doing, shooting off one leg, hopping and jumping, all of that. He was to the ground, fundamentally sound. You can last long when you do that. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to have all this Zion. It's looking bad, son. Okay. That draft is really looking kind of terrible right now. I'm just saying. Just see us, including Ja. Why nah? I'm just saying. That draft is really looking. Yeah. But bruh, the Lakers have too many. What was that? It was a movie with Terrence Howard in Crash. Did you see that movie Crash? Mm-hmm. Where and it's other movies probably like that, where they got 18 different stories going on at once.
Yes.
But in the Lakers case, don't seem like none of the stories gonna end up like it's going without, like, to me, this whole thing with the Lakers is gonna end like The Sopranos. Like, really? That kind of ending? That's y'all give us? It's like, huh? I don't know. Austin Reeves is mad. It don't like playing with Luka. Since when and why? Okay, Dalton Connect. If I'm saying that correct. How you try to get rid of me, but now because the deal fell through, now you got to take me back. So you don't think I'm side-eyeing everybody on the bench? And like, which one of y'all was telling folks to get rid of me? Hey, the Lakers are, bruh. You can't have, you see what's going on with the Browns, right? You can't have dysfunction at the top and don't think it's going to trickle down to the court. Y'all right? Ask Matt Ishiba. Ask Matt how that whole Beasley, Booker, and Durant, how that works out.
His house, actually.
Yeah, well.
His family was already wealthy, as I learned.
Of course. Tom Benson, may he rest and all that, when he owned the Saints and the Pelicans or whatever it is. Do you know what his worth was when he died? Okay, I'm just saying.
Your guy Lerner got $75 million for Aston Villa about a decade ago.
Oh, well, I'm just saying. So I don't know what's going on with the Lakers. I can't make any sense of it. If they do, and they put a viable product out there this year, okay. But I don't think that anybody is unseating OKC as it stands right now, okay? And I ain't even talking about because they won the championship. I'm talking about what Presti is doing. Every move he makes seems to make sense. They got a stockpile. Tell me give me one of the Thunder's weaknesses right now as an organization, from upstairs to downstairs. Give me a weakness. Exactly.
I would probably just say that the maybe depth of interior strength.
Okay.
That would be about it.
Okay. Okay. And then now compare that to the Lakers. They got too many holes, bro, and not enough fingers.
Term thinking, there's organized chaos.
There you go, organized chaos. So we'll see. Stay tuned with that cartoon.
Much Disney. Veteran leadership. If such a thing could exist.
Like, first of all, I don't know if it's real, or if there's any truth to it. So I don't want to say it like it's true, but I'm just saying, should this be true? What were they saying when they got Luka versus what they saying now? And it was only 10 minutes ago. What happened? When he first got over there, oh my gosh, it was kumbaya, Disney Hulu, we're in the streets, Hubu. You know what I'm saying? Don't wear no FUBU.
Well, now wait a minute. They're hailing this move with Ayton now.
Oh, bruh, let me tell you something about DeAndre Ayton. Pay attention, okay? Anytime he gets a pass at or below the waist where he got to catch it and pick it up.
Darn it.
Hey, I'm just saying, you have to put the ball up in order for him to be able to do something with it. He is not the type of player. His hands, and he's very, if you give him a pass in and around the paint area, all somebody do is tap it and they going the other way with it. I'm just, I mean, if that's what you're banking your future on, if you think you're gonna run through OKC, okay, I mean, all right. I mean, what that is really Greg Oden 2.0357-18-9-187.
Wow.
187. Yeah,
that might be an insult to Greg Oden.
man,
But
please.
he could have been.
Man, please. Okay. All right. Michael Red, Scooney Pen. Give me them guys.
And this guy, he's in the Ohio border there, folks.
Who was that?
Pointing that out. You, sir.
I am. Yeah, I'm in Cleveland.
Yep. All hate mail. Attention, barbershop.
Hey. Oh, man, please, man. I got bad knees.
For those in Columbus, I was the one supporting the guy.
Oh, please. I got bad knees and bad feet, man. Nobody worry about me. You know what I'm saying? You pull up anything, bring me some BioFreeze. I'm just saying. You pull up on me, okay? Man, please. Miles Turner is in Milwaukee. Now, I'm all for a player getting paid. Sure. But at that price, is he what is Milwaukee doing? I don't understand. Teams that win championships, how do they, excuse me, sorry, y'all. I'm getting a little elated. But how is it that they go backwards? Teams that was winning championships in our era, especially in the 80s, it was Magic and Bird. They kept coming back, and you wanted to see them again. It's like you win a championship and you get rid of the coach that got you. I do not understand.
Hang on a second. Let me ask you this though. In terms of game comparison, Miles Turner, does he fit better, at least just surface level?
Oh yes, no question.
Is he a better fit than Brook Lopez?
Yeah, right. Right. Beat the brakes off of Lopez. I'm got you. Yeah, you're right. You said it right the first time. Yeah, no question. Lopez served his purpose for the time, but as you get a little older and a little longer in the tooth, he's kind of sloth-ish. Miles Turner is more of a yeah, I'm just saying. You like that, didn't you?
You know what I mean? His brother comes to mind. And, have you ever seen him fight kind of the mascots?
He's ridiculous. But Miles Turner is definitely more nimble. You know what I mean? And he brings the same type of element. So I understand why they did it. But I mean, the monies and the years that go along, would you have done it for that? Not necessarily the monies, but the time frame.
Are you talking about how long they're going to be paying Dame Lillard?
Yeah, bro. I don't understand it, man. I just do not. Sports is like it's a for real cornucopia. It's a mixture of everything, and I don't know which one to look at first today. I just don't. But I think Miles. But what is Giannis saying? Like, really?
Well, that's the thing. He's not saying anything, and it was Dame that did a snake on his Twitter page.
Yeah, I saw that. But you know what? Here's an interesting thing, though. Do you think more of today's stars, so to speak, that we don't discuss as much as if folks want to discuss Kevin Durant and LeBron all the doggone time, that they're kind of staying put?
You mean like it used to be?
Yeah, like Giannis, and he ain't really saying nothing. He's trying to really get out of there. He might say a little something to light fire under management.
But you heard again. I think this is the beauty of having a show like Inside the NBA, and having someone like Shaq that is basically giving you true life coach in the moment and saying, "Look, you're in the right market for you, and there's no big and small anymore." Yeah. But you have enough input that you can walk up to the ownership box and say, "This is what I want," where they're willing to do it. This is where I believe Shaq grew up, where this is what the Shaq who was in Orlando would have liked to have done.
Well, again, there's an expression. With age comes wisdom. If you say that to most people, you ask them, is it true or false? Most people will say it's true, but it's false. With age should come wisdom. Words are very, 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 very particular, and you have to be particular about how you use them, and you have to make sure that your brain is connected to your tongue first before you start to using them. You know what I'm saying? Because that one word changes the connotation of the expression. So Shaq could have been 50 years old or however years old now and still talking like he was when he was in Orlando. Okay, but he's learned along the way, so experiences, so on and so forth. So what he says now carries a lot more weight because it does indeed as we've been saying here tonight, it does make sense. But let me say this to you. The Rockets and the Nuggets. I'm going to say this. On paper, the Rockets are straight up, Houston, we got a problem. But still got to let it play out. Because you know my thing, are they complementary to one another and what it is that they do? You can add all the names you want to. Remember, the Lakers tried that with Gary Payton and Karl Malone and all of that. Adding the name by itself doesn't mean that's not going to solve it. That's what this current Lakers think. You know, saying, oh, go get the name. They went and got Westbrook. No.
Am I hearing you like the Valanciunas move now?
Hold on. Can I get to that? Can I get to that? Hold on. Let me get to that. Man, get to that. I knew this was going to come up.
That's all.
But I'm saying right now, and I wish my son he worked all day, so he got the invite he did. He's a little tired in the tooth. But I had been telling him at the beginning of this playoffs, I said, bruh, it's something to be said about the Nuggets and Joker. I saw him in a different light, bruh. They took OKC to 7 games, and Joker does not have anybody to really spell him. I don't know if you can find it, Double J, but like how many minutes per game did Joker play this season and throughout the playoffs? And the Nuggets, and then when you talk about depth, what the Nuggets have after you get past the first 4 guys or the starters, the Nuggets didn't have in terms of rosterness what OKC had, and they still took them to 7 games. Joker is that dude, bruh. That's why I said I would love to have seen him and Akeem go one-on-one. Oh, my goodness. Or their teams play each other, and that be the matchup. That's my dream matchup.
Basically, since 2018, I'll go 32 and a half minutes this regular season.
Okay.
2018, 19, 31, 2020, 32, 21, 34 and a half, 22, 33 and a half, 23, 33.7, 24, 34.6, and then last year, 36.7. Now, playoffs, just these last 3 seasons, because obviously they went and had deep runs, right? 23, he had 20 games. That was 39 and a half minutes per game. That's absurd. 24, 12 games played, 40.2 minutes per game. And then this past season, 14 games played, 38.1.
Bruh, that is do you know what that says about him?
You know, as much as I'd like to ride, some of these European guys looking a little beefier, that says something completely different.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. So now take those numbers, put them in your blender, and then spit them out in what you see on the tube. I told my son, I said, I'm telling you right now. I said, Khalil, Joker does not have anybody to allow him to sit down for longer than a minute. And even still, because, okay, so who they get rid of? Porter Jr., right? Wasn't it Porter?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and no offense to him, because he was having back issues, and even before he got drafted, it was reported, or documented that he had back issues. So I think that kind of stuff kind of creeping back up again. They had to get rid of him, right? But bruh, after Joker, Jamal Murray, and Aaron Gordon, what does Denver have? Who they got? And no. You ain't got to. No. I'm kind of being rhetorical. Like, after you get past them first 3 guys, who's left?
They had nothing.
Nothing.
They literally were playing Christian Braun, and it was like, wow, that would not have been necessarily who I thought would have had to produce to the extent that you actually
they needed him to. Look, bruh. Joker is the first player, and I'm gonna say this, but I'm cautioning everybody. Everybody's so quick with their phones and whatnot. I'm not comparing. What I'm saying in terms of impact. This dude's impact is like Mike's in a sense. And Kobe's with power in a sense. Like, You talking about a dude who dragging people? And I'm not calling them bums. I'm not doing that. No, if you're in NBA, you ain't no bum, so to speak. Now, by NBA standards, you might be, but by my working at 9 to 5 standards, I'm not gonna say nothing stupid, because that's stupid. STOOPID. That's what that is. Because you couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Brian Scalabrine done already showed y'all. You know what I'm saying? The lowest man on the NBA totem pole will bust the best anyway. I'm just saying. But that's testament to Joker. Bruh, they went and got Bruce Brown back. And who else did they add? Valley Tunis.
Yeah, and
Valley Tunis. Now, Valley Tunis by himself on an island. Valley Tunis, I had a problem with as the lead guard. You know what I'm saying? As the lead dog.
Well, now wait a minute. As of 5 hours ago, Jonas is considering being in discussion with Greek club Panthiakos on a 3-year, $36 million deal.
Oh,
he may go back to Europe.
Oh, man. Well, there we go. Well, for the sake of what I was trying to say here, the Nuggets couldn't have made a better move to back Joker
would Vucevic fit?
He listen, Joker is so darn, listen, I'm telling you right now, as the season was progressing, and I'm not mad at him. Shout out to Shai for winning the MVP, right? But it should have went to Joker. It should have went to Joker, despite Shai's season having a
3 in a row. Do you understand what that means, though?
Bruh, 36 minutes. Bruh, 36 minutes a game. Go look up Michael Jordan. Now, I'm not comparing him to Jordan. They played 2 different positions, all of that. But Mike played, look how many minutes Mike played in the playoffs against the Pistons. The Pistons that was playing football, not basketball. They was playing brawl ball. You know what I'm saying? He had to be Barry Sanders out there. He had to break tackles, bro, on the regular in order for the team to even win. Well, I'm talking about minutes per game in the. Listen, let me tell you something. Herm told me in different sport, but the same premise about each round you get in a sport when you get to the playoffs. He said the regular season is this. He said when you get to the wild card, it's this. When you get to that divisional game, it's the pressure is this. When you get to that championship game, it's this. So Joker did what he did in regular season, and then to go 7 games with that OKC team just now, and all they had was 1, 2, 3 minus 3 blind mice, bruh. He should have won the MVP. He's playing. Show me a player who played that many minutes like that with the least around amount him. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't no Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh's, wasn't no Kawhi Leonard's and Manu Ginobili's. But he ain't had none of that. He had Jamal Murray, but even Jamal was still suspect with injury.
No, because when you look at the playoff minutes per game, those that are in both regular season and playoffs, the names that typically come to mind are Hakeem, David Robinson, Shaq, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Okay.
That's a pretty bleeping good company.
Okay. So with all due respect to Shai, I'm not mad that he won MVP because he
deserved
it.
You just changed my mind.
He could do it. But Joker should, if you would see that's why I say peel back the layers, bro. You get to peeling back the layers. How do you not? Yes, listen, and I would argue to say that he might have been more deserving this year than the first 2. They had literally hardly, barely nothing. And they went 7 games with the eventual NBA champion who was loaded. Hey, in that game in the series against Minnesota, what is it, last year or year before last? Think about all of the bodies they were throwing at him. Man, it was like doggone Bruce Lee's Game of Death, man. It was 3 against 1. They was throwing Nickeil Alexander at him. They was throwing Karl Anthony Towns at him. Walker, no, not Walker. Who was the other guy? Nas Reed. They was throwing, bruh. Listen, even at the park, okay? Even at the park, when you're playing in the post area right there, and every time you turn around, it's a new fresh guy, but you've been on the court for 48 minutes, but here this other dude come in, he just now fresh. Man, come on, bro.
I'm gonna read you these numbers, okay?
Come on.
The efficiency ratings between the two.
Between who two?
The two you're comparing.
Okay, Joker and Mike and Jordan.
Yeah, no. Joker and SGA.
Oh, okay.
So the regular minutes per or the playoff minutes per game, 38 versus 38 and a half. Again,
who got the 38 and a half? Joker?
SGA.
Okay.
But again, that's a much smaller sample size in terms of games played. The points per game is 24 and a half for Joker to 25.3. The field goal percentage, however, is 58 to 48.
Who's 58?
Joker.
But here's another thing.
3-point percentage is also in favor of Joker. Free throw percentage is SGA by 3%.
Well, of course, they call him the free throw merchant.
That efficiency rating is 31.0, which is elite for Joker. It is 22, which is just above average for SGA. And the true shooting percentage is 65% for Joker, 59% for SGA. And again, the assist percentage is higher for Joker, and the turnover percentage is actually higher for SGA. So to your point, I'm
listening, and I didn't know all of that. But again, dude, when I say I use the eye test and as the best test, what I see, I say, and then you compute it into the numbers. That's all. I don't see the numbers when I'm watching. I just know what I'm looking at when I'm watching it. But here's the thing, too. Now, if you want to really, really peel back that onion, Shy, there are moments where he really kind of get the rest. He can put the ball in Lou Dort's hand and play off the ball. Joker cannot do that. Joker, when he get the rock, he got people to deal with. Shy don't always have people to deal with. I'm not taking nothing away from Shy. I watched him at Kentucky, y'all. And I can't think of the name of the school he was at before he went to Kentucky. I saw him a couple times there too, like some little JUCO college or something like that. I've been watching this dude for a long time. And to tell you the truth, my son, my 23-year-old son, once I turned him on to the game, and I showed him how the game when he was 7, 8, 9, he took it upon himself to really get involved with the high school scene. So he's more up to speed with high school. So he would Brandon Ingram, for instance. He saw mixtape stuff for Brandon. He's like, Dad, what you think about this guy? I said, oh, that guy right there, he's gonna go into the league. So my son would do my homework in that regard for me because I don't keep up with high school and college like I used to when the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. I don't. And I'm barely in the NBA to be honest with you. But when he was with the Clippers, I said, oh, the Clippers and Kawhi. I said, okay. I said, oh, okay. Now I said the Clippers finally finna start clipping some people. And then here come putrid Paul, playoff pandemic Paul. And I was like, what happened? Well, you get rid of Shy Jelanius Alexander, if I'm saying that right. It's too many doggone syllables and variables and vowels. Oh my gosh, I ain't got that enough teeth for all of that. But I'm just saying, excuse me for butchering the man's name. I said, are you seriously and that's why people be saying the Clippers be clipping. Talking about Kawhi said he wanted to probably, I don't know about that because I wasn't in the room, but you don't get rid of him for playoff putrid. Because Paul George, you thought he might do something when he was with Indiana. But after Indiana, I said, man, stop it, bro. No, stop it. You don't get rid of Shy. And they did. And you see what it turned into. Okay. And then he got the nerve, if I'm not mistaken, Paul George said something about who won the trade. He's still talking stupid. Anywho, I'm not about to go down that road. Yeah. But saying all of that, yeah, man.
He's literally single-handedly responsible for both teams being in the finals.
Hello. Okay, give yourself credit for that, I guess. Clap on the back. Go sit on the toilet after that. Anywho, I'm not taking nothing from Shy. I'm saying all that to say that. I loved his game. But when we talk about impact on bruh, I saw stuff from Joker this year. I had to rethink. I said, man, this dude is that dude. He that dude for real, man. You want to talk about a dude carrying the load? Man, Joker should have won his third MVP. I'm sorry.
His win shares per 48 minutes is, again, 0.250, which is just, again, for context, that is elite. SGA is at 0.180, which is still very good, but Joker is amongst the all-time greats.
Bruh, that's what I'm trying to say.
Like these numbers are just they actually kind of bewildering. It adds, if I were just looking at this alone, I don't care if it was Oscar the Grouch. I would be, just saying like he's phenomenal at what he does and needs to be enshrined.
Okay, I'm glad you said it. Let me put it to you this way. If I put you in a room with those numbers from both players with no names, and you didn't see no games, and I said your vote, you not only do you have an MVP vote, but your vote is the deciding vote. Who would you have voted for?
That would have been very easy.
Okay. End of story. End of story. Bruh, Joker is that dude, bruh. I'm sorry. Call it hate. What I don't have, debate is all about naysaying and such. We can't all agree. I get that. But if you're going to disagree, let it be based on something concrete. Okay.
What this does is it actually puts into perspective that SGA is an above average star, but Joker is actually a transcendent type of star.
That's all I'm saying, bro. He should have won the MVP. He should have, because when people have those conversations on the social media, it's like they don't dive into all of that like that. Not everybody do.
We may look back on this. I'm saying this now, and I may end up getting fried for this, but we may look back on this and say this was as bad as Steve Nash and Kobe. Because on paper,
yeah, but
Nash
the way
held up there.
Yeah, but the way those seasons for Nash. Now, don't get me wrong. I think there's no question. Kobe should have won them, and he should have had them, in my opinion. Well, you know what? That will tell you that's the more I sit and marinate on that, you might. My memory ain't as good as it used to be, obviously. But
for context, right? I talked about the win shares for 48. Nash was at the same number that Joker was at. Okay, Kobe was at 0.210, so still higher than SGA, but not higher than Nash. The box plus minus, Joker's at 9.5, SGA 4.0, Nash, the MVP season I'm referring to, 8.5, Kobe 7.5. Value over replacement, Joker 9.0, SGA 4.5, Nash 7.5, Kobe 6.8. Player efficiency, Joker 31.0, SGA 22, Nash 26.5, Kobe 24.5. The offensive rating is right on par. It was 115 for Joker, 112 for SGA, 116 for Nash, 115 for Kobe. Defensive rating, 110 for Joker, 112 for SGA, 110 for Nash, 106 for Kobe. The assist percentage, of course, naturally favored Nash over all of them.
Yeah, well, of course. Well, Steve Nash was an assist guy, but again, I'm also
listen to what I said. I just broke down all of those important, certainly the ones of substance.
Yeah, well,
and Joker beat them all but on one, and he was not.
Hey,
that's all I'm going to say.
Hey,
and I didn't even come here to do this. I'm doing it in support of you with this.
I
think there's an injustice.
I'm trying to, but this is again why I tell people, don't substitute real reality with television reality all the time. But if you're going to watch television, look at it first from a latent standpoint versus a manifest, because there are things still there that are true, but you got to be able to find them because there's so much going on. But watching Joker and seeing what he did not have, even when they won the title that year, what he did not have, and then to turn around and be right there at the game 7. Man, he should have won it. We're going to take another break. When we come back, we're going to finish some of this NBA talk here and whatnot, and then we're going to get into Ben Roethlisberger's ridiculous attempt at a possible comeback. Yeah, hamburgers, Roethlisbergers, cheeseburgers. I don't put no don't put no mayonnaise on mine. That's all I'm saying. Anybody got time for all of that? Yeah, some of these ridiculous stuff that he said about Patrick Mahomes, bro. Oh, boy.
I'm Jordan Gudeman, and I'm the founder and CEO of Eddie G's Cookies. I was first diagnosed with a nut allergy when I was young. At the time, there weren't a lot of labeled items that said if there may contain nuts or there are nuts in the food, so my brother and sister and I baked a lot at home, and we enjoyed treats from mixes and things like that, but I noticed that it was not the same as what my friends were enjoying, and I started making up my own recipes. When it was time to pick a career, I decided to start a bakery so I could share my treats with everybody else. When I started creating my recipe, I was taking in all the things that I thought I was missing out on. A soft, chewy center, a crisp outside crust, and a taste that is just like it came out of the oven at a bakery. When I put all those things together, I had come up with a recipe for a dream cookie. Eddie G's Cookies only uses the finest ingredients. We have all natural flavorings, no preservatives, and every cookie is made in a nut-free environment. The best part about Eddie G's Cookies is that they can be delivered right to your door. You can share them or not. We won't tell.
All right, we are back with the last 42 hours of today's program. You understand me? The Rockets, though, man. Would you have gotten rid of Jalen Green?
If the painting of the fingernails or whatever that nonsense was.
Oh, there's a lot of that going on.
Well, that would be anyway. No, we're not going there.
Yeah. I mean, no, you're trying to get us canceled.
No, I know, right? I'm just leaving it at that. Anyway, hey, I will just say I'm very thankful that the Pistons did draft Cade Cunningham over Jalen Green, and that I don't think
I didn't even know that was up. I didn't even know that was like on the table type of deal. You know what I mean?
100%.
Oh,
Honestly,
absolutely. I like Jalen Green. He's a talent, but Cade is more complete.
Correct.
He's more complete player. He can do more. You know what I'm saying? It's not just athleticism and jumping out the gym. You know what I'm trying to say?
So my concerns were this, right? It's easier when you're the focal point of the offense. And then he was at the time was playing in the Big 12. And so my concerns there was that it was somewhat of a weaker conference. And his team, I think, missed. Oklahoma State didn't even make the tournament that year. So I was actually even more concerned about the team's success with him scoring at that rate. Whereas Jalen Green was in the G League going against grown men. And I thought he was having more success against tougher competition. Now, again, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And that's why I think the real answer is both obviously are elite scorers, but to your point, Cade is the more complete player. And for that reason, actually, I think Booker may end up getting moved here because I don't believe he actually fits. You talk about complimentary regularly.
You talking about who you talking about? Devin Booker?
Yeah. You think he's going to be complimentary to Booker in Phoenix?
Whoa. Nah. No, yeah, you talking about Jalen Green and Booker together. No, I don't. Nah, you know what? No.
Wait, hey, what are you on the fence about though?
I don't even know that. But that's old age. You know what I'm saying? I had one neuron colliding with the other one. They was both trying to get on the highway at the same time. Oh hell, hey.
Oh man.
Wow. No. Ooh, no. Because the more I said the more I can see it. Like
So look, what is the issue here with Devin Booker? Right? What is it?
No double teams, bro. Hey, listen, I just said it 7 minutes ago. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. When people today talk about eras, everybody wants to say whose era was better. All I'm saying to you is spread it out, all the jigsaw pieces out on the table, and take a look at the whole thing. There's something about my era that this era does not do, but it got a lot to do with what you do in the job occupation that you're doing. And that is, and I'm not comparing the players. I'm comparing the work ethic, so to speak, or the to-do list if you want to be this. Kobe said, what you mean double team? What you mean? Bring 4. Because them guys, and matter of fact, forget Kobe, forget Mike. I'm going to tell you what when he was in Cleveland, what Kevin Johnson used to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you when he was in Cleveland what Andre Miller used to do. Okay? Guys who are lesser known, but they well known to me. They said, bruh, practice is where you throw this gumbo. You throw everything in. So that way when it come to game time, I'm not swayed by nothing you throw at me. How often do you hear me say, even still, man, I survived Shawshank? But I say that jokingly, but I'm serious, bro. It ain't nothing. Once you done been to the penitentiary, you understand, rock bottom, after it ain't nowhere else but up. So you can't fade me. The dog barks at the moon, but the moon shows no indication of being disturbed. Ain't nothing you can do to phase me after I went through that. So I'm saying all that to say, them guys in the 80s and 90s, they had, just imagine how the Pistons practices was with Chuck Daly. Chuck Daly was wearing gold chains, baby, and wrists. And it's like, look here. Okay, I got to go hit the horses. Let's get this over with. You know what I'm saying? They was drinking schnapps and everything on the sideline. I'm just saying, it was rough and tumble back then. Them practices were brutal. So when we got in the game, it ain't nothing you could do that's gonna phase me. So how can you prepare for the live action if you're not doing it in practice? When I heard him say, and this surprised me being a Kentucky now, coming from Kentucky.
Right.
You understand me? That's like saying Georgetown and Duke and all of that. You know what I'm saying? It's the pedigree. Kansas. There ain't no double teams in open run. What? Are you serious? How will you know how good you can be if you don't push yourself to the limit? See, Jerry Rice said to this day, I used to run hills. There's a book I got sitting behind me. The Boys of Dunbar are always referenced it. Bob Wade was a former Baltimore Colt, played with Mackey and all of them and Unitas and all of them. And when he took over that high school in Baltimore, go look at what Muggsy and them said about him and how he ran his practices. Because Bob Wade said, one thing we're not going to be is tired in the fourth quarter. Then Muggsy said when they came, I'm talking about Wingate, all them guys who came through that program, and they were undefeated for like 2 or 3 years straight. It was teams in Baltimore didn't want to play them. That's how good they were. He said we would come in the gym. Now, when you watch kids now, they go in the gym, they all got shooting sleeves. You can't hit a bull in the backside with a shovel. I'm just saying. with that jump shot, but you got a shooting sleeve on. Because it's all about the look. Just because you look like it don't mean you can do it. And I keep saying, forget the look. The guy who used to roast us, man, you come up to the park, everybody got the fresh Nike gears on and all that old type of stuff, whatever, bing, bang, boom, boom, boom. It was a guy who had the tattered white t-shirt and the hand-me-down shoes. He was the one dropping 80. You couldn't do nothing with him. You know what I'm trying to say? All I'm telling you is, Muggsy said them guys used to come in the gym. It was no basketballs. They be like, huh? It was book bags on the bleachers. They had bricks in them. They used to have to wear the book bags and carry 2 bricks in their hands and run sprints. Who doing that today? Everybody's AAU. What Kobe called it? Accidental basketball. These manufactured incubated products. And then you wonder why everybody blowing Achilles. They're not working on their bodies. I'm here to tell you that. Okay? How you prepare for what you finna do got a lot to determine how you endure. Walter Payton, Jim Brown, Barry Sanders, Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders, Charles Haley, Ray Lewis, Eddie George. Y'all seen that clip, Eddie George and Ray Lewis? Ray Lewis said, when I prepared, I wasn't thinking about the team. I was thinking about one dude, that over there. And when you got 2 lions, he didn't blink. And I knew it was on. You don't see that now. Everybody like Twitter wars. Oh,
no,
I don't like you.
I will give a little bit of
polish.
Derrick Henry's running up the hill again.
That's bruh. And that's why Derrick Henry can still be in this era and still be that dude. We did the running back list or whatever it was. He's still at the top. You know what I'm saying? It's a reason why. Because his work ethic is old school. Hey, you can have all the technology that you want to, bruh. No thing should replace the thing that created it. You're still going to need this. So if you're telling me, oh, that old school and all that, okay, that's fine. That's fine. But why ESPN getting ready to do what they doing? You got to come back to it is all I'm saying, bro. And for him to say that about open run, I'm not surprised that, he's talented, no doubt. But in the end, he like a rocking chair. He moving, but he ain't going where he going. Where he going?
Well, that's my concern is that
they
thrive. You talk about obviously the concept of being complementary, but just too much ball in my hand and often kind of in isolation.
Come on now.
To me, it's a usage, the shot opportunities that they're going to have. And two, I'm not going to completely condemn Jalen because he's still on the younger side, but he is still developing in terms of his ability to play make.
Greg Popovich even said it a couple years ago when he still had his wits about him, so to speak. He said, guys, now they come over to this table and they want to know how many points they got.
Yeah.
Bro, when we was coming up, bro, I don't care how many points I scored. All I know is he scored on me, period. I don't care how many he got. I'm supposed to be our team's best defender, and I just let this dude blow by me. I'm heated. You understand me? I'm heated. I got to get some get back. Oh, no. No. That's why Charles Oakley wrote that book called The Enforcer. Go look at Nate Thurman when he was with the Cavs. Go look at some of Nate Thurman's games. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? When they talk about the league wasn't athletic, man, are you crazy? Man, cut me in and cut yourself out. Man, stop it. You can't be. I said, man, when you think basketball started? Yesterday? A dude told me, he said, man, if anything before 2000 don't count. I said, okay, well, count yourself out. Check, please. I'm out. I got to go. Give me my breadsticks. I'm out. I'm just saying, bro. That's okay. I'm not even about to entertain that ridiculousness. Man, nobody killing y'all's era. What we saying is, talking about the league. Now let's talk about the league should shorten games and back-to-back this and back-to-back. Oh, you got the best of everything. Y'all got personal trainers, personal chefs. Y'all got ankle rollers. Y'all got, you know what I'm saying, knee injections. Y'all got these new fandangle shoes. Ask James Harden why his feet blowing through them. I mean, y'all got everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to say kicks. Y'all know what I'm saying? Y'all got StockX. Y'all got everything, but you want less. Make that make sense, man. Get up out of here, bro. Get up out of here, man. I ain't trying to hear it. I'm not trying to hear it. So D-Book, as talented as he is, I don't know where he fit. I tell you what, if I'm a GM and Devin Booker and a guy like Drew Holiday, them the last two guys, I ain't even looking at Devin Booker.
Is that your next call?
What do you mean?
You try to offload Beal to get.
Here's the killer part,
I don't think Chauncey would do it.
Bro, that's what I'm trying to say. Now, I was just going there. Think about these organizations that are putting old school type players in their front offices to make the decisions. Don't nobody want Brown X. Don't nobody want Bill. Man, I'm not about to mortgage the franchise and my future and my job. I just got the job. You think I'm trying to lose the job? You know what I'm saying? Because of what the fanfare say? Because of what sports books say? Because of what FanDuel say? Man, absolutely not. I know what I see, and I don't want that, see? Man, don't nobody want Bradley Beal, bruh. Who wants Bradley Beal? If you're a GM right now of the Pistons.
I would probably say, unless, from a purely, I'm telling you this as if I were the VP of sales.
Okay.
I'm going to bring him back to the district because of what he did by that. I mean, the handful of playoff runs and some philanthropy.
Okay. Well, okay. I ain't mad at the sales. Okay. Because you got to put the butts in the seats. I get all of that. Think
about it. Washington's in a terrible spot right now. And don't get me wrong. I like Denny Avila, right? And some of these guys that the pieces that they're adding. But you need someone that can be on that marquee.
Yes, but are you adding the guys for the sake of the sales? Or are you adding the guy with substance and the sales are going to come with it?
And the question becomes, can you afford to suffer while that's developing, right? The Pistons, we got to see that, right? We're getting
the Pistons are good though. They should be good right
now. They are, but remember, I was there when they were down 30 to the Knicks before halftime.
Bro, wait a minute. Hold it. You're talking about a guy who watched the Cavs with Andre Miller when he led the league in assists, mind you, 1 year. Okay, when they was giving out 4 free Cavs tickets with a McHappy Meal. I'm just saying, bro. What you saying? I was sitting next to pigeons. in the lower levels. Okay, I'm just at Gondarina is what it was called at the time. Okay, I'm like, high five, brother. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
like
you know what I'm saying?
anymore.
Can your brother
That
get
was
some
in the
wings or
90s.
something? You know what I'm saying? Some chicken wings or something. I'm just saying, little doobie jabby Jew. I'm just saying. Yeah, so yeah, it was some lean years here in Cleveland too. Now, I'm just trying to say, but that's all. That's all in. That's that down. It's gone now. Look where you're at now. You see what I'm saying? It's worth it. What's the Stonecutters credo? You get what I'm trying to say? Go look up the Stonecutters credo. Keep. Who was the guy who was bought a diamond mine and was working it, and then after so many, he's like, you know what? He sold it, and then the next came in and the first time he hit the wall, he found the diamond. So to stick to it to this, you got to stay with it. If you got a plan, now I don't know what they're doing in Philly. Okay, they talk about trust the process, more like processed cheese. I'm just saying. At the end of the day, but if you again, I can't explain Philly. I'm trying to, I just can't. Okay, but for the most part, if you had a formula that worked once before, you can find it again. This is the whole point about some teams reload, some teams constantly rebuild. The Pistons were once champions. So they have that formula. They just somebody got to uncork it or go find it. It's in the basement somewhere. You know what I'm trying to tell you? But the Cavs, we had, they did win the title, but before that, they had Ted Stepien. So, how they pulled that off, I have no idea. The Pistons are okay, but the Suns, they like the Lakers to me. I don't know. I'm at a cross. They at a crossroads. I'm at a crossroads trying to tell you what's going on. I don't see it.
Well, they got a bunch of Michigan State people running the show.
Oh, well, that's right. Well, kiss the S then, I tell you. Just kiss the S. I'm just saying. I don't know. Who knows? But I'm telling you right now, my early pick, before we get out of here and talk about this Ben Hamburger's story, Hamburglar, man, barring injury, man, I'm rolling with the Nuggets next year. I'm rolling with the Nuggets, man. Vooch ain't going nowhere, bro. He ain't going nowhere.
I don't understand why. Like, you're already disrupting. That bothers me. It really does. Why even consider it? Was he like that bitter about the move from Sacramento? I don't understand. Like, oh, now I want to go back to Europe because you moved me out of Sacramento. Most people would say thank you.
Yeah, especially you going to play with Joker.
Right.
Well, or unless you got a
run.
false sense of entitlement, so to speak, like you think you're better than what you really are, and you think you should be starting somewhere.
Toronto.
Oh, whoa, say that again now.
Remember what he was to Toronto.
That's right. He was on that. He won the title with them that year.
Mm-hmm. And he was a key piece to it.
But he ain't no Joker though, bro. And he should know that. And I ain't saying you got to look down your nose at your own self to prop somebody else up, because just because your light shining don't mean I'm a dim mine. I get all of that. But I mean, come on, bro. Hey, listen. Hey, if I'm joining a winning team and that team is winning based on principles, because that's where I operate from, principles, morality, scruples, all those things matter to me still. If I see that's what you're doing and you're winning, hey, I ain't mad. I'm just saying, come on, hey, kumbaya, s'mores, marshmallows, chocolate, Hershey's, I don't know, barbecue ribs or something, I don't know, barbecue sauce. You know what I'm trying to say? We having a party. Let's do it. Come on, let's do it. I don't know, man. I don't think he's gonna go. No, somebody is talking down off that.
All right, so I did find this from Basketball News. Jonas said the atmosphere at the 2025 EuroLeague Final Four in Abu Dhabi made him want to return to Europe and play in the EuroLeague because of the atmosphere.
Well, I mean,
it is a rival soccer. I will say, like, it is the same crowd.
Hey, have you been to Abu Dhabi though? I haven't. I know people who did, and they sent me pictures. Abu Dhabi is Las Vegas on steroids.
Yeah.
10 times. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going. They got camels walking through the nightclubs. I mean, I'm just saying, get your fresh drink of water or milk. I mean, I'm just saying, do it how you want to do it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? They bring it to you. They don't have bartenders. They got camels, okay? They come right to you. I mean, I'm just saying, bro. You know, I mean, the clubs over there is like, you know, they look like arenas. I'm trying to say, you know what I'm saying? They look like stadiums. You know what I'm saying? And the WWE, listen, if you want to know what a city or a spot is like for real, follow the WWE. Wherever they going and where they had a big ones. What's the biggest one? Not Money in the Bank. With the what's the biggest?
Oh, WrestleMania.
WrestleMania. Wherever WrestleMania is at, that's where I want to go next time. Okay, I'm just saying because the WrestleMania they don't just pop up anywhere, everywhere. And my girl Caitlin Clark taking a beating right now. Did she got voted 9th best guard really in the WNBA?
Dude, how much haterade were they drinking?
That's not now. That's for real hate right there. I don't understand.
Have you ever seen that anywhere else like that to that extent?
Hey, listen, let me just say this. And then you can tell me, and Mrs. Alva, if you're still watching, you tell me if it's true. I'm not saying all women, but the ones I've seen some, I've seen some where what I'm about to say, I've seen it happen, okay?
Oh, no way.
For the most part, you take 5 dudes and you put them in a room, right? And I'm talking about these 5 guys could be of any nationality, of any faith, of any. I'm talking about rabbis, black dudes, white dudes. We're going to try to find some common ground, right?
Of course.
Man, you put 5 ladies in a room. I done seen it. I seen it at the post office. Like you put them they're gonna find the weakest one. And then they're gonna slide with the strongest one, and they're gonna be girl, look at her purse is terrible. Look at them shoes curled all up at the front. You ain't no elf on the shelf. Sit your down. And get that buzzer. And you know, I'm just saying. Hold on, we got a comment here. Let's see who this comment is. Detroit fan man said Jay out here dropping forbidden wisdom. Forbidden wisdom. Hey, I'm just saying, man. You know what I mean? What I see from the WNBA. Like, for instance, when Magic and Bird came in the league, there were probably some players who thought that they was better than Magic or better than Bird. I don't know. You know, them veteran guys, wait your turn, young fella type of guys. But once they saw what them dudes could do, you heard with who was it, Marcus Johnson for the Celtics? Like, who was Larry Bird? Who was he? You know what I'm saying? And he saw Bird, he said, oh, yeah, it's a bad one. So guys will concede, like, hey, if he gonna help me win, you know what I'm saying? We get on board with it quick. Man, if y'all don't see what Caitlin Clark could do for the WNBA as a whole, as a league, man, bro, I don't care. So what? She's the media darling or whatever. So what? All I know is, help me to understand something, Double J and Detroit fan man or whoever that is. We'll get to your comment here, but if you're still watching. It not at one point recently that the WNBA women were complaining about not getting enough money, not getting enough exposure and promotion. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't care how we get it within reason. You know what I'm saying? Because blood money, I ain't dealing with that. You get what I'm trying to tell you? But Caitlin Clark came in and Angel Reese to a degree, and they did for the WNBA somewhat. It was how it's supposed to. I thought it was supposed to. What Magic and Bird did, their impact together, and then hers, Caitlin's, and bruh, y'all starting to get more exposure and more money, and because of who? I don't care as long as it's good. You see what I'm saying? As long as it's good money, you know what I'm saying? Because Caitlin she's not out here calling people N-words and being indignant and ignorant. She came in, she balling, bruh. Listen, if your funds. All I know is, let me say it like this. If I know my paycheck, my net pay is $1,500 every 2 weeks, and I link up with you and Mrs. Alba, and my net pay go from $1,500 to $5,000, and there wasn't no unscrupulousness involved, I ain't complaining. I'm not talking about why you give her an extra $1. Like, who gives what? Who cares? Who cares? I've seen too many women do what I've seen from the WNBA women. They're not embracing the cash cow. The men did it. And I'm not trying to sound like no chauvinist or nothing like that, but the men actually did do it, and with Magic and Bird. And y'all can take a page out of the NBA book on that one, the WNBA, because to me, I've told you from a fundamental standpoint, the game it's a much better game when it's played. Now they playing themselves. Let me get to this comment. You know what I'm saying? Trickery. I'm just saying, baby. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But anyway, we gonna. All I know is I'm looking forward to the next NBA season. I don't have no qualms with Shy and what they did. Again, shout out to them for winning it all. You know what I mean? I wish that would have happened in Seattle. I do. Sean Kemp, Gary Payton. But anyway, that's another story for another day.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm telling you right now, though, I'm picking the Nuggets. Burn injury, I'm picking the Nuggets. I'm keeping my left eye, the good eye, I'm keeping on the Rockets. Okay. Keep my good eye on the Rockets because sometimes they be wandering and not on intentional. Sometimes I do. They did just roll around in there like the ping pong balls in the lottery thing before you pick 3. But my money, and I don't gamble. I'm just saying it's like being what is it? What do they call it? Metaphor, simile? I don't know. Anywho, figuratively, excuse me. But my money is on the Nuggets coming out the West next year. Yeah, it is, bro. I'm sorry. Well, especially if Vooch, I think he'll stay.
If Jonas, is that contingent on if Jonas stays or not?
Yes. Well, no, but I'm gonna do your one of your number percentages. Right now, as it stands, I'm 95% Nuggets coming out the West next year. If Vooch dips out, 83%. So I'm still on that side, but it's
Why are you so convinced that now that the Thunder have gotten over the hump that they're not capable of repeating?
I didn't say they was capable of repeating. I'm just telling you that's how good Joker is.
So you think it was more a matter of supporting cast as to what would have got them over?
Bruh, I'm telling you right now. The Nuggets, the Thunder do not win this year. That was just, in my opinion, the Thunder don't win this year. Joker got it. Joker had a Hardenstein even. He's that impactful, man. He impacts the game in a myriad of ways. He's not Bogdanovich bogged the game down if he ain't hitting the 3. You know what I'm trying to say?
He retired.
Thank God for that.
I knew that was coming.
Oh my gosh, Lord, please. Okay, I'm just waiting on the other guy to do it. I mean, so I can get back to watching the game again. My gosh. You know what I'm saying? Joker, the league had got to a point when that super team stuff was jumping off. The league had got to a point where it was about super teams. And to really build a super team, you needed 3, maybe 4 guys, 3 really, but you needed, and then sprinkle with specialists. You know what I'm saying? Like the guy, like Michael Jackson, may he rest. Bogdan would come in. Bogdan would be sitting on the bench with his hand out like this with a glove on. And they would say, and he'd have a guy sitting next to him, take the glove off. They would blow in his hands, and he would go in and jack up 88 threes. You know what I'm saying? Now, some of them would go in. They'd be like, oh, the specialist has arrived. Oh, Hercules. Ah, please. But when the threes wasn't falling, what else was he giving you? And when you talking about plus minus, he was giving you a lot of minus. I'm just saying. Okay. All right. If Joker not hitting the 3, he go inside, he go outside, he can hit jump hook, boom, boom. He got that ugly 3, boom, boom. He got the Larry Bird type, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? He throwing touchdown passes, okay, to Paul Warfield, and Paul Warfield been retired since I don't know when. Okay, he looking like the 72 Dolphins is what he looking like by himself. That's all I'm saying, bro. Joker's impact on that team and in the West is dangerous when he can get some rest. I'm just trying to say, you tell me. Stop me when I'm lying. And I ain't saying that. Listen, I just told you the Rockets, they intrigue me. You know what I mean? Because KD could be that offensive balance that they need because they was a lot of young. And then Amin Thompson, I mean, my goodness, he just ridiculous. You know what I mean? He don't like nobody. You know what I'm saying? When he attacked the rim, bro, he attacked the rim. I'm like, man, bro, who did something in your cornflakes this morning? Like, you know what I'm saying? Why you know what I'm saying? He don't like nothing. Okay, I ain't mad at him. Because sometimes you got to be that, you know what I'm saying? He played basketball like Bo played football. Bo knew. Okay, ask Brian Bosworth, who got ran over at the goal line. I'm just saying, okay? The Rockets, ooh-wee. But other than that, bruh, and I know the Mavericks, but we don't know what Kyrie gonna be when he come back. AD, let's be real, as talented as he is, we call him Anthony Band-Aid for a reason. Every time he hit that flow, you got to get a first aid kit. You know what I'm trying to say? What NBA player is got the Red Cross as a sponsor? Anywho, so that's my last take on that, bro. I'm looking at the Nuggets and the Rockets in the West, and the East is a toss-up. Okay, and I appreciate what Donovan said though, because everybody want that dude to come back here. Donovan's like, nah, bro, we finna do it there. Thank you, my gosh, all these jockeys out here, man. Daggone, man, dang, y'all chafing, ain't you? Man, put the saddle up, why don't you? My gosh. You know what I mean? I'm saying, man, listen, I was gonna apply for a job at waste management. The people that do the trash and all that. They like, hey man, if Brown come over here, we're gonna be the best waste management company in the country. What happened? Oh my gosh, sit down. Trickery. Anyway, Ben Roethlisberger has something to say about Patrick Mahomes. Let's get it on, baby. Is this it right here, Double J?
Well, you brought up a point here before I get on my soapbox about why the Cavs declined Imani Bates' option.
Oh, okay.
But with the, it looks like, as you see here, a couple sponsorships is being rumored on the NCAA uniforms.
Oh, is that a chicken nugget? Okay.
Well, it's Popeyes, and then the
ain't nobody got time for that.
Man, come
on. Of course, that delicious seasoning I may or may not have in my house.
Okay, so in other words, this is why I said get reversible jerseys. Leave the uniforms alone. Don't degrade them with advertising. Listen, don't they have enough advertising on the stadium venue walls or doors or whatever it is? If you want to advertise, just hand people who come to the games, I don't know, send people emails or something. Give them $5 off on a chicken sandwich. I don't know. But before you're not going to, no, this is ridiculous. This is corporate gone wild is what this is. Bruh. It's gonna be so many patches on jerseys. Now we ain't like who team is who. So now just let robots take over because they already playing soccer.
True story. I nearly sponsored a car, a NASCAR. We're gonna have a little shop report sticker on it, right? It was about $100. Okay.
Why you ain't tell me? I would have got in on that. Max Verstappen.
It was for ARCA series, which so
that's not bad either. I like ARCA.
No, I know it would have been cool on FS1. Yeah. Maybe they get the victory lane, But so to your point, I think we're nearing that potentially in the future here. Like, put your logo here on my helmet. One of those stickers. Put your sticker on my helmet for $100.
And I'm glad you said that. That's okay if it's NASCAR or if it's a car. That's all they got is stickers everywhere. It's room for that. Okay, some of these guys can't even get their names on the back of the whole doggone jersey. Like, for instance, Jay Gillis, Alexander. Okay. Woo, yeah, do not go in there. I did not mean to butcher that man's name. I was trying to make a point. Like, okay, it's too many letters.
The league MVP.
But I'm just saying, man, there's not enough room. Okay, it's barely enough room for the man's name as opposed to who's the next sponsor? Depends. I already got that locked up. So what we doing? Okay, don't steal my thunder. No pun intended. I'm just saying. Okay.
Oh hell no.
Anyway, what Ben Chopping Burger had to say. I mean, he said, and he had no lettuce, no tomatoes, no ketchup, or no nothing. Ben Roethlisberger said, I would take Aaron in his prime over Patrick right now. I'm not being finna read the rest of that, okay? Because that's ridiculous right there. What was he saying this for? Is he trying to make a comeback? Is he trying for some relevancy? Is he trying to do a Gilbert the Clown Arenas moment? Is that what this is? He doing this for likes?
Well, he continued by saying, I think Aaron Rodgers in his prime was one of the top few to ever do it. So was Mahomes, but Mahomes is just entering out of his prime, I think, Patrick Mahomes will go down as another arguable GOAT.
Hey, man. What he said after the fact, I'm dismissing because what he said before the fact. In their prime, we talking about Patrick Mahomes, bruh. This dude is out here playing baseball on a football field. Now, I'll give Aaron Rodgers the Hail Marys. He got more Hail Marys than Roger Staubach. Okay, and that's not easy to do because Roger was hailing him. He was throwing him up there. Ask Drew Pearson. Okay. Patrick Mahomes, bruh, was in the midst of being tackled and threw the ball left-handed. Threw the ball with his left hand, bruh. He out here doing he trickery on a football field. And are you serious? Aaron Rodgers is immensely talented, bruh. But Patrick Mahomes, man, stop it. Stop it.
Now, wait a minute.
Stop it.
What's going on with the Mahomes hate of late? Because didn't someone else mention Mahomes without Kelsey?
Yeah, well, it's a lot of guys who got hair like me, either none or like Kevin Durant, and they mad at him because he got curly hair. That's all I'm saying. That's all that is. You know what I'm trying to say? Come on, bro. If you in the NFL right now and you watching Patrick Mahomes, it's only one other guy, and that's Saquon Barkley. Patrick Mahomes is like
it was Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase said if Patrick Mahomes didn't have Kelsey, he'd be just another Kirk Cousins with a headband.
Oh, I'm about to say.
So that's two. That is two people in like a week's time.
Bruh, listen, this whole attempt at these from these guys at wanting relevancy or validation, it's ridiculous, bruh. It's ridiculous. Everybody wants, it's like instant gratification almost. Hey, I don't have no problem with somebody doing their due diligence and making it or getting their 15 minutes of fame. But don't go do nothing stupid and say nothing stupid and foolishness just so you could be seen. That's And especially now if you're supposed to be no man. That's why I be telling people, man, not every male is a man. Okay? Man, man, bro, no. You said that why? Why? Does that make sense to you? You tell me. Come on, man. What you saying that for? Why, of all things to say, why say that?
Oof.
Man,
we'll
come
see
on,
how
man.
It ages, right?
Man, come on, man. That's bruh, man. That's come on, man. Don't insult your own intelligence.
When what the Raiders did, I believe it was last season.
What? What'd you mean?
The puppet that they had.
Yeah, for real. Hey, Detroit fan man said they treating Pat Mahomes out here like Kalen Clark. Yeah, come on, man. Listen, if you want to say, first of all, here's I'm gonna say this too, though. If ever anybody, and shout out again to the people out there that stay with us, we can ready to get out of here and let y'all get some sleep and some rest. We appreciate y'all for staying with us and tuning in and whatnot. Raiders troll Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, oh yeah, I saw that too. Bruh. I want to know why. What's the point? It's you can get the desired effect, but still have some couth about you when you say that. Let it be, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, John Elway Marino, who had the strongest arm, whatever. We can still have a back and forth. But if you say something, if you say something and it's the equivalent of you jumping out of a plane at 70,000 feet with no parachute, then you deserve whatever you get when you hit the ground. I'm just saying, you do. I'm trying to figure out where out of all the things to say, why say that? Because Mahomes is doing on a football field more than once what Barkley did in that one move when he on the move hopped over that guy. Like, where do you see that at on a regular? And I saw a guy in Cincinnati one year on his way to the touchdown. He did a front flip over the defender. You get what I'm saying? Say that, like those types of plays, the types of plays that Mahomes does or do, and if I'm saying that right, they stand out tremendously. Like that Barkley play, it put him on the cover. You know what I'm trying to say? It was like the thing that was talked about. Matter of fact, they showed reactions from the players on the sidelines. They showed reactions of who's the receiver? Oh, what's his name? The one that was on the bench reading the book. Well, I can't think of his name. Help me out. Number 11, the big time receiver for the Eagles. AJ Brown. AJ Brown. They showed that other angles from players' perspectives when that play happened. You can't feign that response. They was like, oh, did you? One guy almost boo-booed on himself. Forgive me for being. She's like, I'm like who do that? So Patrick Mahomes then made a habit out of them type of moments. But then Jamar Chase and Ben Roethlisberger talking what they talking. Ben, go sit back down, man. And I don't say this lightly because I know some dudes who dealing with it actually that played in the league. CTE is real, bro. Or either that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You was raised in in a barn. I don't know, but that was ridiculous. All these guys just saying stuff, man, to be saying stuff because they want to be out front of whatever it is. It's not that serious. We come here every week for how many years we've been doing this? I like to make it entertaining and engaging and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like if I'm going to put a microphone in front of my chin, that I'm giving the people who are willing to tune in something that they can get, some substance, bro. Something that they can work with. I'm not just about to get out here doing shock jock fodderness. I don't do Bondo. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going to do some body work, I'm going to take it off. I'm going to wet sand it. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to go through. It's a process. I'm going to be meticulous and tedious because it's that important to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, and I'm not saying this in the same breath or the same thing, but I give a guy like Sinbad more props for being a comedian because he was funny without cursing. That takes more skill. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? It takes a certain type of skill. And I ain't saying I got it, but to come on here and try to give people something they can be like, oh, okay, man, I'm going to go look that up. That's really all I'm in it for. You know what I'm trying to say? You put something on your mind, elevation. I'm not about to come out here saying no ridiculousness just so people say, hey, did you hear what that guy said? Ha, ha, ha. I don't want to go viral for that. No, I don't. And if we go viral, I want it to be organic, okay? You know what I'm saying? Not because I, did the crate challenge or something at 55 years old with 2 bad knees. It's just ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. But guess what? Now, because of that, with all due respect to Jamar Chase, I hope Joe Burrow don't throw him the ball. I hope whatever individual accolades he's trying to get, I hope he don't get none of them. None of them. Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? I hope y'all, bruh.
Now you got to remember here, you're talking about the individual that I believe is currently the highest paid non-quarterback.
I don't care. When you say some stupidness, then stupid is as stupid does. When keeping it real goes wrong. I hope he had one of them moments. I do. I do. Yeah, I do. And Ben Roethlisberger too. Man, shut up. Shut up. If you're going to say, spit something that means something. Okay, if you're gonna say something, have something to say where people can want to talk about it.
Well, now wait a minute, right? You have folks that I got to speak up for the locker room.
Oh, please.
And there's going to be a certain individual that's going to suggest that Aaron is, every bit of what Ben is referring to.
Bruh, I'm telling you right now. The first time one of them, remember now, he 4,000 years old. He just came off an Achilles injury. Okay. We saw what happened to Peyton Manning when his arm got neutralized. But Peyton didn't go out.
Went to a Super Bowl.
Okay, but listen, I'm not saying he didn't. What I'm saying is Peyton didn't go out on his personal parade to try to put himself out front. Peyton
and Elway did that for him. And I think Ben Roethlisberger is parading him like in a very similar fashion.
Okay. All right. I just think that the way they're going about it is for real, some sucker type for me. For real. That's what it boiled down to. That's weak.
Wait a minute. Okay.
That's weak.
This might be the AFC North in you, right?
No, I don't care about the AFC North. I just care about a player coming out and saying some stupid stuff like Aaron Rodgers.
I'm not surprised by it. Again, you talk about the culture of the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? The family.
That's surprising. The Steelers don't sign off. The Steelers don't sign off on guys like this normally. The fact that they even waited to They played his waiting game.
Does it smell a little desperate? Sure.
The Steelers?
100%.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any doubting that. But now that the ink has dried, I'm not in the slightest bit surprised that they are going along this, touting his greatness now in a means that only could have been done by RB previously.
Well, I'll give you. Hey, all I'm saying is it's a way to talk smack without having everybody, without putting a target on your back. If I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm calling Alex Smith like, what happened? Even though Alex Smith didn't do none of that, I'm talking about the injury. Like, bro, it's people gunning for you now. It's defenders over there like they're going to take offense to what he's doing. It's people already on talk shows. When I'm in the car now, I listen every now and again to Chris Canty and all of them, Michelle and forget the lady's name, Michelle Smallman, I think is her name. She's actually pretty good too. I like her takes, a lot of her takes. But they already talking about like this over diva-ness. He took the diva act is a tired act, bro. And somebody gonna put him on his back.
Well, and so to your delight, right? I will mention that not this part, but the part 2 of this. Aaron Rodgers is working out with the receivers currently in Malibu, but
is Barbie there too?
However, to your point about the conversation and the target, and one Myles Garrett already is on record of saying he wants to put Aaron Rodgers in the graveyard of quarterbacks.
Bruh, I didn't even know that. You can't.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. All right. I mean, I don't know what button. I'll give you that one right there. I mean, talk your talk, but it's a line. Even when you're talking your talk, man, it's just a line you just don't cross. And to me, Sharon Rodgers, whatever you call her, him, her, whatever you call it, he's a habitual line crosser. He's been crossing too many lines, bro, and he's gonna catch up with you. That's what I'm trying to say. Because man. I don't know. Some of the stuff that be coming out of these dudes' mouth, man, shut up. Just be quiet. Just shut up, man. Shut up, bro. Don't be saying stuff to say it. You can talk smack to your opponent or about your opponent without denigrating or acting like you're so much better than everybody else. Shh. You hitting the clock just like we is. Just be quiet. Have a seat. Stop it. You know what I mean? I mean, your mind can tell you, because it happened to me. And I ain't saying I'm nowhere on none of these guys' level, but it happens. My mind told me I could still go out there and drop, 17 or 20. And my knee was like, and that was the end. See? I'm just saying. And then here we are 7 hours later. The doctor was like, man, it looked like spaghetti in there. Man, I ruptured my patella. Trying to relive some type of what I used to do when I was 21. I had bounce. Boom. Out the gym, bam, all of that. Man, when you hit 30, bro, the clock start. Everybody got an expiration date. You know what I'm trying to say? And, excuse me. And when you see you starting to get closer to your end run, just bow out gracefully, bro. You know what I mean? Don't be talking like you 20. Nah, because that body ain't 20 no more. That's what I'm trying to say. That mouth is, but that body ain't.
Well, let me ask you this. I brought up earlier about who currently non-quarterback was paid the highest. And coincidentally, obviously, the same Pittsburgh Steelers have made a number of moves, right? Yeah. They brought in Super Bowl champion now Darius Slay. You're welcome. I'll give you your flowers for that. Mm-hmm. Of course, now adding also Super Bowl champion Jalen Ramsey. So now you're talking about a very...
But I done seen Ramsey. Ramsey is talented too, but I done seen him get cooked a few times. Like, Ramsey ain't no Darrell Revis. They talk about it like he Darrell Revis. He ain't no Revis. Ain't no Ramsey Island.
Well, yeah. But now the question becomes: Do you potentially have somebody like TJ Watt? Do you pay him or not? Because you're going to have to pay him near the top of that list, if not at the top, which means more than Myles Garrett. So that is where I'm going with this is, are you willing to, and do you believe he currently today, so right back to that Roethlisberger talking about Aaron Rodgers in a today aspect, even though potentially his best days are behind him, TJ Watt, would you pay him that amount? And do you believe would you rather have TJ Watt or Myles Garrett today?
Hold it, slow down there. Wait a minute. Put the horse back in the cart in the barn. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait a minute. Wait. Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Are you trying to tell me? Oh, wait. So you trying to tell me did I miss something somewhere? There's a potential that Myles could be going to Pittsburgh. Is that what you're trying to say here?
Well, he should be all ironclad and good, but what I'm asking more so,
you talking about a swap?
Omar Khan has already made teams aware.
Well, I mean, I watched Star Trek the other day, and they still searching for Khan. Is all I'm saying. It's Kirk and them. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Okay, because the Wrath of Khan, pretty good, not bad. But anyway, are you saying a swap, TJ for Myles?
I would suggest that it's possible. I'm not saying there's much substance to that.
Listen, the fact that you're even saying that does not surprise me because it's the Browns. I watched the Browns rob everybody in the city to pay Andre Rison. And then his house got burnt down. I'm just saying, bro. You know, Modell went broke trying to get Andre Rison. Bro. That would be a Browns move right there. It would be. Yes, it would be. To give up Myles Garrett. Like, let me ask you this question. There are some organizations in the NFL whose pedigree stands the test of time. Right? And I would thought that the Steelers was one of them. To only have 3 head coaches in my lifetime, and I've been, God, I've been 50-something years, that's remarkable to me. So do you think, let's say the Giants got Myles Garrett. Do you think they're doing that? Do you think that do you think that they would do that? Knowing that they've had guys like Justin Tuck, Yumin Ura, Strahan, Sam Huff even. You know, I'm going back now. Do you think the Eagles with the Brandon Grahams and do you think the Eagles, if they got Myles Garrett, that they giving him up for TJ Watt? Do you think that they even consider that? I'm just, some organizations like, are you kidding me? Then you got some organizations that do what the Giants did, like they, you know, on the flip side when it came to Saquon. You know what I'm saying? They do stupid stuff. Man, come on, bro. No. GMs get fired every day for reasons which were fireable offenses. Okay, and some of them don't. I'm just saying. Sam Presti. All right, come on, man. It's who doing the spending? I told you that. You know what I mean? You can't give a guy who bad with money $1,000 and tell him to go grocery shopping. He coming out with one loaf of bread. Like, what you do with the rest of the money? Oh, you know what I'm saying? I bought some candy. I'm like, what? Nah, bro. There's no way in the world. At this stage in their careers, there's no way in the world that I'm doing that if I'm the Browns GM. But then I'm not the Browns GM, so I can see them doing that, is what I'm trying to tell you. And would you pay TJ?
You would have to in this case.
Right, but what are you paying him off of?
Because he's at $28 million now. Myles is at about 40.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, you got yeah. Hey. Yeah, hey, I'm telling you right now. Here we go, baby. Fork over the cash. Can I put my 20 in? Can I put my Andrew in? I want to make an investment in that right there. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you just, but I mean, yeah, if you the Steelers, you got to. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, oh no, yeah, no. But if I'm telling you right now, though, if the Steelers get Myles Garrett, that'll be the reason why more so than Aaron Rodgers and anybody else over there right now that they return back to whatever they were that I'm growing up, in my opinion, barring injury. Now, mind you, you know what I'm saying, because they do happen, but. And Kyle Shanahan over in San Francisco, he on the hook too. He got to get it done this go around. Because if not, you know, that 28-3 is still lingering. I think it's bad taste in his mouth still. I'm just saying. Can't get that. What you got a bump on your tongue there, buddy? Oh, well, you know. I'm just saying. Trickery. Okay. But yeah, no. So at the end of the day, this
So
is football.
What do you like out of these destinations? Sounds like the NFC for the most part. The
Hold
AFC,
on. You talking about destinations? Who
the more realistic destinations that are
who?
being for TJ? It's
Okay.
sounding like the Lions, the
Hold up.
Eagles.
Let me get some written. Okay, let me go here. You said, dang nabbit. Okay, Lions potentially, right?
Potentially
okay.
Eagles,
Eaglets. Okay.
Packers.
All right.
Tampa Bay.
Ooh. Okay.
And the LA Rams.
Hey, I'm gonna throw this out here too. A lot of people might disagree with me, and that's fine because that's good for debate. This disagreement. The Rams was this close, bro.
I agree.
They could have won that. They could have won that. They out of all the teams the Eagles faced in that playoff run last year, the Rams. Hey, I'm just saying, Jared Verse is
correct.
For real.
There you go.
Jared Verse is for real, bro. He is for real. He ain't Aaron Donald, but when you see him, he make you sit up like, wait a minute, hold up. He make you readjust like, wait a minute, whoa. And it ain't what like no flash in the pan type of stuff. Like, no. I said the same thing about Khalil Mack when he was in college at Buffalo. Buffalo was playing Ohio State. I was ironing my clothes. The TV was on, but I wasn't watching it. Okay. But I knew that Buffalo was playing Ohio State. And I kept hearing Khalil Mack on the tackle. Khalil Mack on the tackle. Khalil Mack makes another tackle. Khalil Mack for the second. I'm kind of like, who is this? Yeah. Jared Verse, how you doing that? Like, who is this guy and where did he come from? I mean, we know, but you know what I'm trying to say? You add TJ Watt to that. I'm tell you right now. Is Hutchinson, what's for the Lions? Is Hutchinson, where he at in his rehab?
He's clear.
Is he?
Yep.
When did he get hurt?
Week 2.
10 minutes ago? And he cleared already?
Yeah.
Didn't he rupture everything and then some and then all that and then some more?
Yeah.
And he already cleared?
You bet.
Oh man, you shouldn't have did that. You shouldn't have did it because now I'm stuck. I'm stuck.
And coincidentally, the Lions have about 40 million in cap space, which is literally.
I was going to ask you that next. Like who? Okay, so that whoa. So now you got to throw that in there too. Of the teams you mentioned, who can afford him really?
Both the Eagles and the Lions can.
Where the Rams at? Would they break the bank, so to speak? Would they have to move some folks and whatnot?
They would have to probably move somebody. Let's see. Just to confirm.
I could see him. It's a toss-up between 4. Packers, I'm not so sure. You know, my whole thing is, again, complimentary.
Yeah, see, they only have 20 million in cap space.
Who?
That's the Rams.
Yeah, nah. You have to give up too much to get him, wouldn't you? Yeah. I could see him at the Lions. I could see him with the Eagles. I could see him with Tampa Bay. And I could see him with the Rams. But I can't say of the 4 which one I could see more. You know what I mean? Because they all bring something enough to the table where a guy like that at this stage in his career, he's not going to be the low-bearing wall as he has been with Pittsburgh. You feel what I'm trying to tell you? He will be a complimentary. He will compliment somebody like Tuck did with Strahan. You know what I mean? And Canty and all them guys. You know, that Giants front. Because if you add TJ Watt to a Jared Verse type of mix, you get in there with your 4. You add him to an Eagles mix, you get in there with 4.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's trying, bro. Do you know if you can get there with 4 with that, you can't get through the other door on the back end. You can't do it. And the Bucks, they have a propensity for defensive type of guys too. You know what I'm saying? Even though Brady went over there and did it, you know what I mean? It was Levante Davis and them, they showed up and showed out. You know what I'm trying to say? And then we're not going to even talk about them Warren Sapp, Derrick Brook boys, John Lynch. You know what I'm trying to tell you? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? They have them teams that them teams minus the Packers, them 4 teams, they have a propensity, bro. You know what I mean? They have a propensity for playing defense. Excuse me. Now they might have a lean year or two, but they pretty much consistent on that side of the ball for more so than they are not. And I could see adding a guy like that. I mean, my goodness.
And just for the record, we have football in the month of July.
Yeah, I know. I'm playing. You ain't know I was playing? I got drafted. I got drafted.
Hey, you know, with that roster expansion, I'm not surprised you snuck out there like Willie Mays Hayes and
yeah. Oh, don't get it twisted, bro. When I played, I was tailback. Hey Jay, get your tailback on the bench. I'm just saying. No, absolutely no. Coach, put me in, coach. They like, dude, but your helmet is on backwards. Put me in, coach. Like, oh no, absolutely not. I ain't, you know, the teams now they say everybody get to play. They was like, ma'am, we'll pay you. And I was the first athlete in high school. They paid them, and they was like, hey, was that under the table or not? You know what I'm saying? What we got going on here? Some violations? They was like, ma'am, we don't care what type of heat we get. We'll pay you to keep him at home. I'm just saying. I mean, so basketball was my favorite sport. I had to go down the court. I'm just saying.
No.
Trickery. Just saying. Anyway. Yeah. And on that note, yeah. And on that note, I'll leave you with this quote. I once cried because I had no shoes until I saw a man who had no feet. The moral of the story is be grateful for what you do have and not ungrateful for what you don't. All right. It's been fun, but we got to run. Don't forget to check us out every day. Gully, no, because Gully told me not to be plugging certain folks because they already plugged enough. So check us out 9:30. You know what I'm saying? On the PM side. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or y'all can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the shop's fan page, and of course YouTube. And please, if you're over at the tube, please hit the subscribe button.
And TikTok soon for the haters.
Oh, and TikTok soon. Yeah, TikTok soon. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, on Mondays, don't forget to check out right here on our platform on the Shop Report, the Turnbuckle, where the Double J and D Gully discuss all the latest happenings that's going on in the world of WWE.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan supposedly is still medically induced coma.
Ooh.
Yeah, what started as complications, this all kind of, I would say rumors, but with substance. And it started as complications from a back surgery or neck surgery, and then spread to something with the heart valve. And then now they're concerned about brain fog from the valve, that you may have lost some oxygen up there, where we could be. Sad thing is he did just open his newer shop, I want to say around Gatlinburg or just Tennessee, but
Tennessee, yeah.
Also, the freestyle wrestling company, him and Eric Bischoff were going to launch, was supposed to start in Cleveland actually, and he hasn't been able to plug it, so naturally the sales are low for the tickets. But they have some big names. If you've followed college wrestling in the last handful of years,
I haven't. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't.
Oh, that's me and Mrs. A's thing. She caught me watching it one day, and then she was like, "I didn't know you liked this," and the rest was history. So, but nevertheless, and of course, we got a drop from Matt Ramos, who's actually on the roster for that. So,
straight up, shout out to Matt Ramos, baby.
Yeah, so we'll stay in touch with that amongst some other things here for this coming Monday.
All right, Monday's the Turnbuckle, y'all, right here on the Shop Reports page or platform, on the program, I should say. And again, if y'all over at the YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. We'd be much obliged. And if that don't work, y'all can Google it. For my dudes, Be Rich, Double J, D Gully, and all those who follow and support us, we say thank you. I'm Barbershop Jay. You'll be listening to the Shop Report. And remember, the next time y'all want to know what's really going on, man, come to the shop. Walk-ins are always welcome. Holla at your boy. I'm out. Ben Roethlisberger, Mike.